Oh man, it feels good to actually be going live after a win. Oh man, fourth win of the season for the Rams, and they're going to go up to 4-6 on the season. They are 3-1 in the NFC West division right now, so good stuff there. And I told you guys throughout the week, this was a must win if there ever was one. To start off 3-7, it's very bleak to make the playoffs. But 4-6, you are still in this thing. And to just prove it, the Rams actually have the tiebreaker currently over Atlanta based on strength of victory. And the division tiebreak is also is used to eliminate Tampa Bay, which Atlanta would win. So right now, since they have a four-way tie, the Rams would lose the tiebreaker to the Packers, who are 4-6, but they would win the tiebreaker over the Falcons and Buccaneers. The Commanders lost their game today. They are 4-7. The New York Giants and the Chicago Bears are 3-9. Arizona's 2-9, and Carolina is 1-9. So right now, the Rams are the 9th seed in the NFC for the playoff race. They are behind the Packers at 4-6. They're behind Seattle at 6-4. They would have the sole tiebreaker, and I've talked about it. Seattle, it's not going to get any easier for them moving forward. They have to play the 49ers twice. They have to go up against the Eagles. They have to go up against the Cowboys. They also have the Steelers down the road, and they finish out their season in a potential trap game against the Arizona Cardinals on the road. So, man, this was such a must win. The Rams do improve to 3-4 in the conference, 3-1 in the division, and they're now 4-6. Oh man, did they need this one? Now, it came at the cost, unfortunately, of Cooper Kupp, and we don't know. I'm not going to speculate what his deal is and how he is, but I'll just say this right now. Hats off to the Rams for being able to pull this one out. I understand they weren't on the road, but this was an incredibly difficult game to win, going up against a Seattle Seahawks team that has done a great job late in games. They have stolen these games all season long. Doesn't make them a bad team. It makes them what they were, a 6-3 team, as opposed to being a 3-6 team like the Rams. So look, I thought just looking at everything the way it was today was not perfect by any stretch. Matthew Stafford has to play better. I thought he had some great throws, but he missed a surefire touchdown to Darrell Henderson down the sideline. He missed one to Cooper Kupp on a free play. You got to connect on those. The stats didn't look great for Stafford today. A touchdown, interception, 70.6 passer rating. But he hung in there and was able to make plays on that last drive. And aside from them not getting the touchdown on that last drive, which led to this crazy finish, hats off to Sean McVay. Look, I will be critical of his play calling and all of that. I will say that. But I am not going to criticize what the game plan was on that latter portion of the game. The way that they took over on that last drive was impressive, and it was well done, and he had a plan. Unfortunately, they didn't punch it in for the touchdown, but what we do look at it is that's what won them the game. They won the game, and the Seahawks clearly ran out of time because they had to settle for a field goal. So look, say what you will, but I really liked what they did down the stretch. Again, few things I would have issues with. I thought Puka Nacua was incredible when he needed to be. That one where he took the run and was losing his footing and was able to force his way for a first down. That was so key and critical in that situation. Royce Freeman keeping himself up and moving his legs. He went for 17-73. I thought Darrell Henderson added much needed value in the receiving game. And then of course he punched in that touchdown. That was his only yard of the game on 6 carries. This was one of those weird games. Just win it all, whatever it takes, right? Just get it done, whatever it takes. And the Rams got this thing done. And you got to credit Seattle. I thought they did a really nice job stifling this Rams offense, not really letting them get things going. But then the Rams defense, I think, also deserves a lot of praise. Look, you can say what you will about Darion Kendrick, and I understand Kobe Durant was supposed to start if he was healthy. He was not healthy. He wasn't able to go. So Darion Kendrick got his job back and had a huge interception on Drew Lock late in the game. Also a pass breakup early on that drive that really set the Rams up to win this game. So hats off to Darion Kendrick. His tackle he made at the beginning of the game that was called a 15-yard penalty for unnecessary roughness was BS. I'm going to take his back on that. He wasn't perfect, but I thought Kendrick stepped up. I thought you saw some great things out of Bobby Brown in his first game back. Aaron Donald, of course, you saw great things out of him. Ernest Jones just continues to marvel me at his ability to blitz the quarterback. He is just so good in those situations. You know, you look at just, you know, the job that the front was able to do towards the end of the game. You hope Geno's okay. You know, I'm not a fan of injuries. I don't root for injuries. I know there are people that do that. That's not me. That's not this channel. This is more, you know, analysis driven. Obviously, there's a fandom here. Obviously, if you can't tell, I am definitely a fan of this football team, but by no means am I a fan at the expense of someone else's health. So I hope Geno's okay. I know he went back out there. That is going to be something to monitor. I hope Kupp is okay. You know, he left the game in this one. To be honest with you, I think he was held out, and I think it was smart that he was held out. But we'll see, you know, how that ends up working out. I really liked seeing just the creativity that they showed towards the end of the game with Demarcus Robinson. You saw some good things out of Austin Trammell in the passing game. I thought he blocked really well, especially on that Puka Nacua run. And then on the touchdown, hats off to Ben Skoranek. Doesn't get talked about, didn't have a catch today, but the touchdown run for Darrell Henderson at the goal line, Ben Skoranek had a huge block that opened that up. Guys, a win is a win, okay? It's not going to always be pretty. Just because I have a prediction that it might be 31-28 doesn't mean it's going to be 31-28. And I hope we realize that now. I also hope you guys realize why I was so confident that they could win this game. Because, yes, I know they have Devin Witherspoon, but what did I say about the running backs? Okay, the Rams didn't take enough of an advantage of this, but they struggle, man. This is an Achilles heel for the Seahawks. They struggle against the running backs. You saw it against Royce Freeman. He was able to make plays at the end of that game. And then you saw it in the receiving game. Darrell Henderson got going a little bit and obviously would have had a huge touchdown. That's the difference between the 161-yard game last week and what could have potentially been a 100-yard performance from Henderson is that missed throw by Stafford. But there was a serious weakness here, and I don't think the Rams will see the Seahawks the rest of this year. But if they do, that would be the playoffs. What I will say is this. No matter what happens the rest of the year, you take this, because this, my friends, is a sweep of a division rival that is a cockroach. And I don't mean that to offend any Seahawks fans. I don't. I actually mean that to show respect. This team doesn't die. Even Seattle at their worst is a 7-10 football team. They've never really had it horribly. Okay, so this is a team that never goes away, regardless if we're talking games, we're talking over the years. They trade away their franchise quarterback and they found Geno Smith, and he's ended up being arguably better than their original franchise quarterback. They do not die. And so to win this game, to win week one, to come off the bye and do what you did, okay, it didn't start off well at all. Seattle put on a clinic to start the game. But guess what? I pointed this out on Twitter. The game started week one. Seattle was winning at the half 13-7, and the Rams ended up winning. And sure enough, the Rams ended up winning after Seattle got off to a 13-7 lead. They only scored 3 points the rest of the game. And how about the Rams, who notoriously have been putrid in the fourth quarter? One of the worst teams in the fourth quarter had to put up 10 points to win this ball game. And just a lot of, you can't take this for granted. You just can't. What does this mean moving forward? Well, the Rams are now 2-3 at home. They now move over. They will be playing Arizona next week. And then they have the Browns. The Browns are 7-3 right now, so they're not a slouch. You see the Commanders lost to the Giants today. That Ravens game is going to be a problem. I'm already warning you about that. But the Commanders game, the Saints game, the Giants game, the Rams are in this. It's not Homer Jake. I keep seeing that. I'm not being a homer. Look at the numbers. Look at what's left. It really isn't that hard to see. This team has the talent. The defense really did a nice job. I mean, we don't talk about the defense nearly enough. I saw a lot of hate for the defense giving up 13 points in the first half. I didn't see anything about the defense only giving up 3 points in the second half. The defense was outstanding, and they don't win that game without the defense. And you could say, well, they injured Geno Smith. Yeah, the defense did that. The offense didn't. The defense is the only reason they were able to win this game, because they stepped up at the end. And then the offense was able to play off that. But it was not perfect, folks. Not by any stretch was this a perfect game. And it doesn't have to be. Because at the end of the day, and that's an unfortunate reality, I just watched it yesterday with my Kansas Jayhawks losing to Kansas State. They dropped a game. They would have completely clinched the game with a pick six. They dropped a pick six. A fifth-year freshman dropped it. They had a muffed punt. They were up by 11. And they beat themselves. Well, look. I'll tweet about it when it happens. I'll be upset. It's my way of coping with Kansas. But the reality of football is it doesn't matter if you beat yourself. All that anyone cares about at the end of the day is who gets that one that goes into the win column. Okay? And who gets the one that goes into the losing column. No one cares how it happened. Because once again, okay, unless it's something as egregious as week 18 last year against Seattle, and we talked about that, where it still gets brought up, most of the time, these games get swept under the rug. And all that anybody knows and sees consistently are the records. Because if you're looking at a team, you're going to see 4-6. You're going to see 6-4. That's what people are seeing. They're not seeing how it happened. You might remember it, but not everyone else is. That's all that matters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So, man, shout out to Sean McVay, Raheem Morris, this Rams team, everyone. It took everyone to get this thing right. I think there were some awful calls on both sides. I got to say, on both sides, because, man, Carl Sheffers, and again, this is not even me being a homer here. Okay, 21 penalties. 130 yards of penalty yardage on the Seahawks and 92 on the Rams. You may not like Seattle. I don't like Seattle. But when you get to the point where you have now put over 230 penalty yards on that team's stats portion of the box score, you have affected the game. And you've affected it negatively. And you've slowed it down. And you've made it about you. And that, to me, okay, is what Carl Sheffers did. That's what Carl Sheffers did in this game, and that's what he continues to do. His crew is absolutely insane with the flags. 21 penalties in a game is obscene. That shouldn't happen. It's just not good football. It's not. And you could say, well, they need to play better. They need to be more disciplined. I don't think it's discipline. Because we could be seeing this same stuff all across the board, and Sheffers' crew is looking for this stuff. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know I complain about the officiating a lot, but I'm complaining about it for both sides. Because there's no reason that a rivalry game that goes down to the wire 17-16 needs 21 penalties being thrown. None. There's no reason for it. So, sorry if that, isn't what you want to hear. Again, I'm not trying to be biased. I'm just trying to call it like it is. But again, shout out to the Rams. Big win. I'm going to answer people who are sending in super chats. I'm going to have some people up on the stream, the usual. But I wanted to start off with that before we did anything. So, let me see if I can... Let's see, viewer activity. All right. I think Matt Ryan likes us the entire game. He spoke highly of us. Love the guy. Mr. Clutch 324. Thank you for the 5. Appreciate you. I guess Matt Ryan does like the Rams. Who knows what's going to happen with Matt Ryan? Maybe he'll end up on Seattle, depending on how everything works out with Geno. I hope he's okay. Again, I don't root for injuries, and he has a nice story. You know, he's not a guy that I'm about to rip right now. Ernesto Polanco, thank you for the 10, my friend. We got that dub like we expected, brother. Yeah, maybe not exactly how we expected it to happen, but yes, got the dub. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Love it. Guys, be sure to hit the like button, also known as the thumbs up button. And if you're on Kick, be sure to hit the follow button if you haven't already. So, you know, really appreciate everyone that's here on YouTube, Kick, wherever you are seeing this. Really appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Monty Brown TV, how you doing, my friend? Thank you for the 5. We going to the ship. We going to the ship. We going to the ship. What's going on, my brother Jake? I'm not gonna go that far, but hey, man. Yeah, I guess anything is possible. But you know, I think this team, they needed this win today. I will say that they really needed this win. How's it going, Matthew? Thank you so much for the 10, my friend. Really appreciate that. At least with this team, there's no quit or tanking. They are trying to win. Yeah, that's absolutely. Yeah. Can the tanking crowd please stop now? Can we calm down on their tanking now? You don't try to win a game like that if you're tanking, my friends. That's not how it works. You're not trying to win a game like that if you're tanking. Otherwise, you don't know what the definition of tanking is. Will, appreciate you becoming a member, my friend. Quintana, thank you for the 2. Elpers Cat, appreciate Cup this time has gone. Thank you for the 2. Appreciate you. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been a minute since we've really connected on a live format. I've been playing some Call of Duty over on Kick since Modern Warfare 3 came out. But aside from that, you know, we had the bye week. I made videos, but I haven't really seen you guys. I haven't really, you know, talked live to you guys. So this is cool. I'm glad to be doing this again. I've missed this, and hopefully there's more of the wins upcoming. And I think there are. I don't think this was a one-off. I think the Rams can build off this. Again, you'd like to see more effort. You'd like to, not effort, but you'd like to see a better performance from the offense, maybe a little bit more, you know, splash plays, but nonetheless, you know, I'm feeling good after this win. And I said that. I said if they win this game, they're going to the playoffs. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I have a feeling they're going to go to the playoffs coming off this. I think they're going to build on this, and they're going to win some games. And by the way, winning a game like this late in the game, this only helps you out moving forward, because the Rams have struggled late in games to win. And you could say, well, Jake, it's a completely different story if Jason Myers doesn't miss. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but you know, everything the Rams did late in the game led to him missing. I mean, being put into a position to kick a 55-yarder, that's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the Rams in this one. And I'm not taking anything away from Seattle. I mean, they continued to battle even without Geno. So not taking anything away from Seattle. But you could tell, I think after Stafford threw the pick and the way the defense responded, and they didn't act like it was a true momentum shift, that's when I knew the Rams were going to win the game. I had a really good feeling that the stuff that I was saying before the game, I think was going to come to fruition. And not everything worked exactly how I expected, but you know, good to see nonetheless. And again, we have to wait to see what happens with Cooper Kupp, but I still think this team can move on without Kupp. I just hope that he's okay. MC Beauty and the Beast, thank you so much for the 2. Defense absolutely killed it today offensively, yeah, so the defense was great. You know, holding a team like Seattle to 16 points is definitely impressive. I mean, you know, aside from the Ravens game where they had 3, you know, they've been able to do some things this year. Maybe not as explosive as they want to be, but they can be explosive. They can be a problem. DK, Tyler Lockett, JSN, And they battled injuries. I get it. I'm not going to forget they lost Kenny Walker early on in the game, and that probably changed the game a little bit. But credit Zach Charbonnet. I thought Charbonnet ran really hard. I thought he ran well. I mean, it's a tough defense to run against. I don't think people realize that front now with Bobby Brown back. Definitely a good defense. And, again, credit the Rams. But let's see here. Missed you too, Caesar. E15, Manga, Exodius, Will. Yes, prayers for Rap, Will. I definitely agree with you there. That was scary. I heard about that and I ended up seeing it and I was like, what the hell happened? Just, you hope he's okay. That stuff scares you, man. That scares the shit out of you. So just hope everyone is okay on that end. In that regard. Everyone that's on Kick right now, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Everyone that's on YouTube, appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's start bringing on some guests here. I'm going to hop into the call in here. And let's see if this works. I'm just going to make sure. All right, let me mute that. Okay. All right. Ian, can you hear me? I think you're muted and deafened. I can hear you. Let me see if I can figure this out here. Why are you not showing up on the stream?
Okay.
All right, there you are.
Very good.
Welcome back.
Well. Man, Jake, what a nail biter, man. How do you feel, dude? I was riding the wave of, man, we suck. Oh, that looked good. Nah, we're not very good. Oh, wow, great play. Oh, man, here we go. You know what I'm saying? It's just welcome to Rams football in 2023, everybody, right? I mean, shoot.
I look at it like this is just keep in mind, the Rams put a target on their back when they beat Seattle week 1. So Seattle came out with a fire that you're just not going to see most weeks with Seattle. There's something extra there. Also, it's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
So I think it's a potentially good football team that had to win, that had to go the extra mile and just scratch and claw and found a way to get it done coming off a bye.
I know.
That's really what it comes down to. And
yes,
we can look at this and we can analyze this and say, oh, this Rams offense isn't doing anything. This isn't the Rams offense. This is not the Rams offense. First off, a lot of their offense clearly had to do with Cooper Kupp. It's why they completely changed things around when Kupp went down. I mean, they had completely different personnel. Bryson Hopkins was in there more than I've seen him. Demarcus Robinson, I think, caught his first pass of the season,
which is crazy.
Trammell's like starting at that point. I mean, that's the thing.
It's really wild.
Is that I look at it more as they were able to respond. You know what I mean?
Yes. And Jake, it's just so good to see a team win a home game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that matters.
Yeah.
That matters for the growth of
protect your turf, man.
Los Angeles market. Yeah, protect home field. And I think it allows fans that are at these games to want to come back. Man, what an exciting finish, right? Obviously, it's a missed field goal.
Oh, dude.
Jesus.
Dude, a field goal, it's amazing how we love high scoring, right? We love the high scoring, but as soon as the field goal happens, it's like the earth stands still. Isn't that
it's incredible,
isn't that crazy? It's like it all comes down to this, and it's like we just played a physical game of football for 59 minutes and 59 seconds. You're telling me it all comes down to this kicker that's the size of me?
I know, it's crazy, dude. Isn't that wild? I mean, I mean, Jake, isn't there that meme that was going around where it was like Rodrigo Blankenship, the Georgia kicker, and it was like this guy and DK Metcalf play the same sport in the same league.
Yeah.
You see that meme? Anybody seen that meme? It's true. You can have a freak athlete like Metcalf and others we can think of, and then you have a little kicker, and he's like, hey man, they're equally as important in different ways. It's crazy, man. But
It
shout out
absolutely
to
is. It's mind
shout out to
blowing.
the timeout. Yeah, shout out to the timeout McVay took because obviously it had him thinking a little bit harder, right? I mean, that's why you do those ice the kicker timeouts, and it worked. Totally worked because I was being pessimistic. I was like, dang it, dude, he's gonna make this kick. He's been kicking really clean so far this game, and that extra 30 seconds of hey, am I going to be the hero or am I going to be the reason why we lose? And wandered enough in his head, and he missed it. And I just want to say real quick, what a much better play calling drive at the end of the game. No, yes, some of the passing stuff towards the in the red zone was frustrating, but it's Jake. We got to have this conversation. I'm sure others will probably bring this up, but it's like I think now with Cooper Kupp being out, the offense can breathe normally. I mean, yes, are we more talented with Kupp out there? No question. Never be more talented without a Triple Crown winner. Let's just be honest. But it just feels like because Kupp is the primary read on 99.9% of plays, it feels like, and everything is a choice route and an option route with 3 different variations to it. It's really complicated what Kupp is asked to do on a play-by-play basis. When he's not there, none of those play calls are happening, and things can breathe. Stafford can survey the field naturally instead of like, all right, there's a Triple Crown winner. Let me try to wham it in there, laser beam it in there. And it sucks that he's hurt, but I just feel like the offense can breathe a little bit better. Do you feel that way? I feel that way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I know some people are going to take it completely the wrong way, but I totally get what you're saying. And, I think for me, the thing is watching this offense the first 4 weeks, I've come to the conclusion that it's not Kupp's fault, but this team misses Kyron Williams more than Cooper
And I don't
Kupp.
think it's his fault. Real quick. Yeah, real quick. For everybody out there, Kupp's a fantastic player, one of the best players in Rams history. Let's keep it real. I think everything is just so centered around him that Tutu doesn't get involved. Puka sees games where it's 1-2 catches. Higbee's non-existent. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a healthy offense to score points. That's the name of the game. Let's get in the damn end zone.
Yeah.
And it's been an issue since he's been on the field. Let's just keep it real. So, again, everybody, Kupp is great. I always want Kupp playing, but McVay's just doesn't have his head clear on play calling and keeping things honest, balanced, diverse, and keeping defense on my edge. And we've talked about this before, Jake, but I want to share that, everybody. Well, come at me. Kupp is great, but the offense functions better when he's not in the lineup. So,
yeah, that's just 2023 Rams football for you,
it's crazy.
I mean, let's go back to the play, and obviously I got to get a bunch of people on here, so I can't keep you forever.
Course, yeah.
But I want to go over that 14 play drive because I know a lot of people are going to be, kicking and screaming that they didn't, score a touchdown. Aside from the touchdown, which is a big, caveat, of course, I thought that was a masterclass by McVay. I mean, you could see. Man. I mean, it was so funny. They pan to the sideline, okay? And you see the life draining from the Seattle bench. And they're winning. So it's like that point where you see it, and this is the great thing about a telecast where you can see they're up 16-14, and you can just slowly but surely see the life dwindling, just completely being just stolen from Seattle. And it's like, how do you feel? Like, it's so painful to know that you're winning, but you're going to lose. And that is how Seattle started to feel. It's why Geno was thrown back out there when he was not ready to play. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up re-injuring himself throwing that, if he hurt it even more.
That would be unfortunate for him.
It would, but you know what I'm saying? Like that drive, and I'll just take you through it real quick because I have it in front of me. You start out at the 21. This is right after Darion Kendrick, who everyone is always on his case. Kendrick gets a huge interception. Also on that drive, he had a pass breakup. But he gets a huge interception, and so they take over at the 21. Immediately, Sean McVay is like, you know what? We don't care. Stafford, deep right, Puka Nacua, 32 yards. So now you're
And
already
real
at the
quick, pause
Seattle
right there.
47.
Yeah, pause right there, Jake. Think about it, everybody. When's the last time we saw a deep, hard play action, purposeful boot, and then a backside crossing route throw? How long has that been? It's been a long time.
Oh, I know.
And what a great throw over Bobby Wagner and the defenders. Like, those are the type of throws where everybody's like, Stafford's washed. If we let the man have a little bit of time, he can carve anybody up. I mean, it's just obvious on that one. I mean, what a great throw, man. And it's just, I don't think people realize how hard that is. Let's roll out to one side. Look, first read not there, second read not there. Okay, third read might be there, but I got to throw a laser beam, perfect ball, to the opposite side of the field, and it was perfect. I mean, people just really don't comprehend how incredible that is. And anybody that's like Stafford's wasp, we just need to give him time and protect him. He's an older quarterback, but he's still got plenty of years, I feel, as long as he can be kept upright. So
yeah,
I just wanted to share that, how incredible that throw was, and I like the play.
That was a seed. I mean, so then they're at the 47. They go to Trammell. It's a quick, it's a boot, and he's just basically throwing it in the dirt. Then there's a penalty on Shelton. So there's a false start, which, whatever, you could call it either way. Then on 2nd and 15, Stafford goes to Tutu Atwell, and while it's not the most perfect throw, Atwell has to catch it. So he drops it. It's 3rd and 15 now on the LA 48. Stafford passing complete deep right to Puka Nacua. There is a illegal use of hands penalty on this one. Now, this is what Seattle fans are saying already. I've already seen it in my mentions.
Was that the hands to the face? Was that the hands to the face?
Yes. And then it didn't help that the broadcast, and I want to walk people through this because they'll hear it from the broadcast and it'll be in their minds. It's the right call because Stafford did look over to Austin Trammell on one of those, because he's going through his progressions. The Austin Trammell read is taken away by the hands to the face. It causes him to have to go to Puka Nacua. So that's why they called it. So it is a fair penalty. So now it's 1st and 10, Seattle 47. They get a 9-yard run up the middle by Freeman. They get a 9-yard run up the middle by Freeman after that. So 2nd and 1, they get another 9. Now they're at the Seattle 29. Darrell Henderson, they decide to go right end. Seattle has it stacked. They pretty much have every right end run that they had stacked. I mean, those outside zone runs that they run with Henderson, I feel like tip the defense off. I wish they just let Henderson run up the middle.
Outside zone. Why are we doing outside zone runs with running backs who are more equipped for gap scheme up the middle stuff? It's just
I don't know. I mean, Henderson's a better north and south runner, so it's really frustrating.
I know it's killing me, dude. Like Tyron could do it, but even that's not his strong suit either. It's like, why is that even a play in our playbook?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have the guys to do it anymore. Like, it's just like everything's got to be within the tackles, tight end. Like, the 9 hole to the 7-8. Like, we can't be going any wider than that unless it's like a power toss.
But then
that doesn't work really well either. But
now it's 2nd and 13 at the Seattle 32, and then they're going to throw a middle of the field throw to Nacua after the timeout. So this gets them 11 yards, makes it a 3rd and manageable. So
and real quick, and what great effort by Nacua. I mean, I know that he's not 100% healthy, and it's been obvious with the way McVay's talked through his press conference that he's hurt. I mean, he's banged up. Hurt, he would be out. He's really banged up, and he said his knee has been bothering him. Like little subtle comments I've heard in press conferences throughout the last month. Like, man, and for a young player who, obviously we know his story and how well he's been doing in the beginning parts of the year. For him to just lower his shoulder and just be a true football player in that moment, right? You can be easy, right? Oh, I caught it. Let's get down. Let's not cause a turnover. He's like, hell no. I'm going to try to get this first down. And got us close. Respect to Nacua, man. I hope he's in the running for, rookie of the year and continues to make good plays because I think he deserves it. But I know CJ Stroud's playing great. But
it's funny. So it was someone said on Twitter, "Is like, can we just give Puka Nacua the rookie of the year and CJ Stroud the MVP?" Like the way they do.
Well,
the MVP goes to the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, I know the 3rd and 2, right? The 3rd and 2 with Freeman. That was the next play right after, right?
Yes. Yeah. So 3rd and 2 with Freeman. Yeah. The reason why I like that is so obviously at first glance you'd be like, oh, I wish he got the first down, but that also makes time go off. because there's another down that they ran.
Yeah.
So everything had to happen the way it did for them to run out of time and kick a field goal to try to win the game. See what I'm saying? So it was actually really well done because they take over at the beginning of this drive with 6:43 left to go, and McVay gets this thing all the way down, right? He gets this thing all the way down to 131. And that's coming off a 32-yard explosive to start the drive. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah, he finally. Well, look, man. At the end of the day, let's keep it real. We're obviously film junkies, you and I, Jake.
Yeah.
The O-line finally said, "It's on us. We don't handle our business. We ain't going down to win this game."
Yeah.
And Jake, they've regressed over the weeks. It's been disappointing. Everybody on the entire O-line. Avila, obviously, no boom. People are disappointed in him overall. Jackson's had a down year.
They really needed Havenstein back, though. I think we found that out the last 2 weeks before the bye. Like, Havenstein is imperative to that offensive line, and we saw that today.
Yes, I mean, he's our best lineman. But I just think overall as a group, it's been ugly the last weeks, even outside of the Havenstein inactive games that he's missed. I just think that, and then even today it was rough. I was like, oh, God, man, not getting good push in the run game. Getting, letting up serious pressure on Stafford and then most, passing downs. It was ugly. And I think that drive, they said, no more.
Yep, we're done.
Got their shit together, and let's go win this game. It's going to be on us. And power football gave Stafford time, and what a shock. We had a game-winning, field goal, or we had a game-winning drive to win this game. And I was worried, man. I was like, man, the defense did just enough again, and we're not going to pull this off. And, for a team that was expected for the offense to be the anchor of why we were going to win any game, it's just been funny how the defense has done so much more over this past, gazillion weeks it's been. But, yeah, McVay finally started to call, interesting, more diverse play calling, and what a shock. Things got done.
I mean, I don't know why it takes Cooper Kupp to be out for them to do it, but I'm not going to complain because.
And that's what I'm saying. I know, and that's what I'm saying. That just the things breathe better. It's unfortunate. That's the reality, but hopefully he's okay, man, because he's been hurt a lot. Jake, we just got to keep it real. He's been a lot of serious injuries over his career. It's disappointing, man. And how old is he now? Is he 30 or 31? I think he's 31. Over 30, right? Yeah, I mean, history's not kind to receivers of that age and older. There's obviously the freaks of nature. I'm just blanking on names we can think of that have lasted the tail of time, but history's not on our side and it is not on his side, man. And I just hope I hope he heals and is okay. But if it's the ankle that was surgically repaired this past season, is it that right ankle? Was it his right that got hurt? I'm trying to remember what I saw.
That I don't know. And keep in mind, I go live right after the game, so I miss all of that stuff.
Well, I'm sure maybe somebody in the comments can figure that out for us, but hopefully it is not that surgically repaired, tightrope surgery he got last season. That would be not good. But we'll see, man. And hey, I'm just happy. Gosh, we can have fun in games with people on the internet, right? Seahawks can't beat the Rams. It's a never-ending life cycle. Rams can't beat Niners. Seahawks can't beat Rams, and everyone beats the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
So it's the NFC West life cycle.
Well,
but yeah, man.
Good times. They needed this. I'll let you go because we could talk all day, and I got to bring other people on. But
no, of course, I'm sure everyone's got a lot to share their joyous thoughts. Please, everybody. We don't know how many more of these wins will come, so we'll take it.
Yeah, no, that was so key and critical if they want to make the playoffs, and I think they can do. They had to win today because it's not just they're. So actually, I want to retract here. Okay, retraction, very rare. I normally don't get something this wrong, and I said it this many times. But ready for this? I said, and this is me admitting that I was wrong. I said that the Rams would be only in company with the 2020 Commanders as the only team that has come back from 3-7 and made the playoffs. That's not true. Do you know why? Because I forgot about last year. The Jaguars did it. They went 3-7 and they won, I think it was 8 of their last 10 or whatever. Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
To them, hey.
They were bad. They were dead in the water, and then they just shot up. And they ended up, doing well and getting into the playoffs. So, and they actually beat the Chargers in the first round or whatever. So, but look, obviously, a lot of stuff moving forward. Sounds like Gino has a bruised tricep. That's the early diagnosis. Pete
That was the
Carroll
Aaron Donald hit, right? That knocked him into that
yeah.
injury.
Aaron,
That means
Pete Carroll says he can't say if he will play next week. Here's the problem with next week for Pete Carroll. Okay, you got the 49ers. You already struggled to stop the running backs out of in the passing game. Like I said, they're going to have to play against Christian McCaffrey. That's the first thing. The second thing is that's Thursday. So it sounds like it's going to be Drew Lock versus Brock Purdy on Thursday night.
well, that's going to be an ass kicking, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is why they had to win. It's not like any other game.
Yeah,
you win this game, you have the sole tiebreaker over Seattle, and Seattle has a murder's row of a schedule upcoming. They have the 49ers, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Eagles. That's their next 4 games. The Rams are right in this thing. They really are. And they have a tiebreaker right now over the Falcons and Bucks. There's a 4-way tiebreaker, and they're behind the Packers right now. Imagine if they beat the Packers.
I know. We can go down this
I know.
infinite universe. In an alternate universe, things worked out. The Steeler game, the Bengal game, the Packer game. But, oh, well, Jake, everybody, sorry, we live in this timeline where things are going to go down the wire. But, hey, 14% chance going into this game. Chance is still alive. And I know everybody wants to jump on here. And I know you and I could probably talk for another 2 hours ourselves. But, hell yeah, Jake. Well, I'll let people jump on. I'm sure there's tons waiting in the lobby. I haven't looked. But, hell yeah, man. Go Rams, everybody. And look what happens when you run the damn football. Good things happen. Shoot.
Absolutely. Hey, appreciate you hopping on. And hopefully we got another winning episode next week following a Cardinals win, hopefully.
That'd be great. Hey, like I said, the never-ending life cycle. Everyone beats the Cardinals. Let's keep that going.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. They look a lot better than the last time they played them, so we'll see.
I know. I kid, but then, I don't.
Yeah. All right, Ian.
All right,
you take care, my man.
Take it easy, man.
All right.
Peace.
All right, Eric, how's it going? Let's see.
Yo, Jake, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How we doing?
It's nice. It's been a while, man.
I know. It's funny how a bye happens and you feel like it's already been like half the season that the last time you've done a live stream. But yeah, man, it's good to be back and nice to see a win right off a bye. I know there's some people that are upset that they won because they were hoping for a higher pick. But hey, man, anytime you have a chance to sweep your division rival, I mean, come on, you got to take it, right?
Yeah, no, and then just like you said in your video, I mean, we're going to have almost the same exact team next year.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably going to supplement it with a bunch of free agents and whatnot, but these guys need that momentum. They need that confidence going into next season, And we still got a chance at the playoffs. It's not like the season's a wash yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, the playoffs are, much alive. I mean, the Seahawks lose next week and now you're 1 game away.
Yep.
And you could, that's the thing. If you take down Arizona, you move to 5-6. You had 5 wins all of last year, and you didn't get your 4th win until week 14. So
that was the Raiders game, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, you're in decent shape, but yeah. What are your thoughts? About this team, moving forward. Do you think they can do it? How are you taking this game in?
It is the Cardinals we play next week.
Yeah, it's in Arizona. Rams have had a lot of success in Arizona, so we'll see.
Okay, yeah. I feel good about the team as a whole. The defense stepped up really nicely. I mean, it's not like the Seahawks are a bad offense. They're 6-3, or they were 6-3.
Yeah.
They played well against a lot of teams. They were missing Kenneth Walker, but Charbonnet is still a back. So, I mean, our defense played really well. I don't think we had a injury on the defense. Cup got hurt on the offense. He was limping up, so I would imagine it's some sort of ankle sprain. So he should be fine, hopefully. But like you were saying with the last guy, I think the offense does kind of have more of a like more variance without Cup in it, at least this season, because Stafford just seems to really focus in on Cup on those option routes, and it doesn't really get spread to all the wide receivers and to Higbee and all that. And I wanted to ask, is Kyron Williams coming back next week, or
Yes,
is that
he is.
the week after? Okay.
Yes, he is. They need him, man. They need him.
So, yeah, I mean, Kyron comes back. We still got Hendo backing him up. And then Freeman just with the, change of pace. What about Ronnie Rivers? Is he coming back too or no?
He might. I don't know what they're going to do there because, I mean, I think they like the running backs they currently have. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep Ronnie on IR, but maybe they bring him back. Who knows? But I like their tandem there. I like because Kyron had 98% of the snaps. That's why he got hurt. He can still be effective if you just use him.
Don't do that to him again.
Yeah, like use him 75%. Don't use him 98. But I think Kyron will take over, and you'll use Freeman and Henderson, maybe even some Zach Evans. But for the most part, I mean, Kyron was the guy. Like, he was the only one touching the ball. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be so great to have him back, though. They needed him so badly. They really did.
Yeah, it's crazy how much of a difference he really made on the offense just in the few weeks he was playing.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It just goes to show like what a really good running back can do for you,
Absolutely.
Kyron Williams is not one run of the mill, pick the guy up off the street. Anyone can run in this offense type of running back. Like, he straight up changes the offense. He's really good, and I don't think hardly any people realize how good he is.
No, I don't think that, because I already see people saying that he's not good and we shouldn't care anyway. But look, I think Kyron, I mean, right before he got hurt, he was top 6 in every running back metric. Like, he's probably one of the biggest players to have back. It's sad, but it's almost like weird and ironic how, like, as soon as he gets back, Cup's hurt now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll see what ends up happening with him. I have no idea what's going to happen with Cup, but I still have confidence in this team, with or without Cooper Kupp. And that's crazy to say, but this team just showed you today they can gut out a win against a 6-3 football team, a good football team, not fully healthy. And, without arguably their best receiver, and not arguably that the receiver, but you could talk about them winning without their running back and their receiver. And that's kind of a big deal. I mean, those are two key spots there, but now they're healthier than they have been this year for the most part. So we'll see. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm feeling pretty good about this team moving forward.
Yeah, and it's not even like Matthew is even 100% like healthy. He says he is. He always going to say he is, but he's still wearing a splint on his thumb, and there's no way that he is at the amount of health that he was before the season started. So. Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any update on Cooper Kupp's ankle per Sean McVay. Jordan Rodriguez put that out there. Matthew Stafford saw Kupp in the locker room post-game and indicated he was still going through information gathering process. So that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, I think if anything, you want to take anything away from this game with Cooper Kupp is that he came back out there in a full uniform on the sidelines. Yep. That's a good sign. That could mean like, hey, I wanted to go, and Sean McVay held him out, precautionary.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. Like, if this is a playoff game, I would imagine Kupp goes back in. No matter, like, he could tell you wanted to, but he was a bit hobbled. Like I said, I would imagine it's some sort of ankle sprain. Hopefully, it's like a grade 1 regular one and not a high ankle sprain like with what happened to Kyron. Because Kyron looked fine after the game when he sprained his ankle, and then all of a sudden he gets put on IR. So
yeah, that's a good point. I actually forgot about that. He did look good initially. And that's the thing. I think it's a lot of the thing is just the adrenaline kind of takes over, So I think that's part of it. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts for me, Eric, or about the game, for me, anything?
I don't think so. I mean, it just, like I said, it's nice to be on this stream again. It's been a long time. It's been bye week, and then I wasn't here the past 2 weeks just because I've been so busy. So it's been almost a month.
Yeah, I mean, time flies, man. It's crazy. We're already in, going into week 12 now. So,
yeah. Cardinals and who do we play after the Cardinals?
Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, Commanders, Saints, Giants, 49ers.
Okay, so I think Browns just lost Watson last week.
They did. So it would be it would be DTR and that really good defense that can cause a lot of problems.
I mean, shoot, we played really good against good defenses, though. The only one was Dallas, where we got stomped. But
that's the problem, though. This Browns defense is like Dallas times 4. Like they are really good. I'm not even gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. That game is gonna be bizarre because I mean, I'll just be honest with you. Like, I know there are UCLA fans in the chat. I'm not worried about Dorian Thompson-Robinson in his rookie year.
No. Yeah, neither am I.
But that defense, Myles Garrett, like I'm a little worried about that for sure.
I think that's gonna have to be a Kyron Williams game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if he can run the ball against them. It's tough to do anything against that Browns defense. I mean, they absolutely shut down the Steelers. Absolutely.
Yeah, so Cardinals, Browns, you said. So
yeah, Cardinals, Browns, Ravens are the next 3. Ravens, I have an L, but I think they win the next 2.
If we can win 2 out of those 3, that's a big W. I think that bodes well for playoff chances. Yeah,
they pretty much have to at this point. So yeah, and it's funny because
I think the Seahawks are going 0-4 on this stretch. So
yeah, I mean, I understand, football's football, and we'll see how things work out. But I saw this coming, and I just really think Seattle is in a tough position moving forward. I mean, they had to win this game because they go up against the defending NFC champions, one of the nastiest defenses, and one of the toughest home field advantages in the sport against Dallas. And it is in Dallas. And then they play the 49ers twice. And I understand division, the 49ers, and they don't get bodied like by the 49ers like the Rams do, but the big weakness they have, I keep saying, is against these running backs in the passing game. And the Rams could have really taken advantage of it today if Stafford doesn't miss that throw to Henderson down the sideline. And the 49ers, like anything, if I hear anybody is going up against the 49ers and they can't stop running backs pass catching, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a wrap. Because, I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey, who's the best in the business at doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that running back route was crazy, man. That Will out the backfield. I got a Todd Gurley flashback.
Oh yeah.
Jared Goff looking off to the left, Gurley runs on all over to the right, and there's just naked, nothing in to tackle him. But Stafford missed Hendo, and that sucked. But luckily it didn't lead to a loss.
Yeah.
I felt happy seeing McVay call that up, though. Finally, once Cup gets hurt, he's finally starting to use everything else,
I haven't seen a Henderson wheel route in, I don't know, since the Super Bowl.
I think since the Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice to see.
I still can't believe that Super Bowl. We were using Hendo like he was Marshall Faulk. That was insane.
He was
running the route. Like, he was the only other guy catching the ball besides one catch for Bryson Hopkins and Cup.
Oh, Hopkins was doing a lot. I thought he and Hopkins are a big reason they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Hopkins was blocking his butt off, and I don't even know is he hurt? What happened to him?
He played today. They just don't really utilize him. It's sad, but they, we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, it's right now the tight end position is a problem because they're just not getting really any contribution from that spot. That could linger. You hope it doesn't, but I don't know. I'm not feeling overly confident in the tight end position right now. And I don't think many people are because, you look at it and you're like, what is there to be confident about right now when you're talking about the tight ends? They don't use, they don't use Bryson Hopkins much. They don't use Hunter Long. They don't use Davis Allen. And, Tyler Higbee, he caught one pass for 17 yards. He dropped a couple. It's a position that's so vital in a Sean McVay offense, and it just isn't really there. There's no threat of it. So I'm hoping that they figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, Higbee has looked like not good at all almost this whole season, and then McVay comes out and says, "Oh yeah, he's been hurt. He's been dealing with stuff." And I'm thinking, why hasn't Higbee been on this injury report the whole entire year? Like, why are we just finding out that he's been banged up for the first time?
Yeah.
Like,
I think he just went over 300 yards for the season in week 11.
Yeah, like we don't need to know exactly what's wrong with anybody. I just wish there was a little bit more transparency with the team on the status of players. Like, it took us until week 9 or 10 to find out Stetson Bennett wasn't even going to be back at all, I don't need to know what's wrong with him. I just need to know if he's going to be back, like, earlier. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's the same thing with Higbee. Like, it's the same thing with what happened to Gurley. We didn't know what was wrong with him. We didn't need to know that he had arthritis. We just needed to know if he was going to be himself. And, this team is always just hiding the players' like status. It's weird.
No, I definitely hear you there. But Eric, appreciate you, my guy. We could go on and on and on, but I just, I got to bring all these people on. So
yeah, it was great talking. I'll probably be back next week. I should have free time. So
sounds good.
Look forward to the game against the Cards.
You and I both.
Yeah.
So
I'll see you, Jake.
All right. You take care, man. Go Rams. Okay. So I am gonna, let's see. What is this? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I had to ban Blades Casino because on Kick, they just decided to start posting a bunch of links. And I mean, I don't know, like just spamming links in somebody's live stream when they have an audience is just really rude, in my opinion. I just, maybe it's just me, but personally, I don't like it. So appreciate it. By the way, shout out to SoCal Ram 88. SoCal Ram 88 sent me this hat. So fire hat. I love it. So appreciate you, my friend. I don't know if you're in here or not, but SoCal Ram 88 over on our Discord channel, in case you didn't know. Okay, cool. So let's see. We got, by the way, they won in November. So they didn't win in November the year they won the Super Bowl, but they win this year. It's funny how that works. They also sweep Seattle for the first time since the Super Bowl season. So there's that. But anyway, Sean McVay, he moves to 10-5 against Pete Carroll all time. I think it's 9-5 in the regular season, 1-0 in the postseason. That's more like it. I'm sorry to hear that, SoCal. I appreciate you being here. Jugs, how we doing, man? What's up, Austin? Oreo, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm digging the cap as well. I think it works well with like this whole like get up. I don't know. I love the logo. I mean, I've been very open about how much I love the LA logo, so you guys know how it is. Okay, let's bring on Coach Ray. I'm going to try to keep it a little shorter with the rest because I got to get off at some point. I mean, man, I'm averaging 15 minutes a call. So I gotta chop it down a little bit. Coach Ray, how you doing?
I'm good.
Glad to hear it. What were your thoughts from the game? Oh, I guess you got bounced out somehow. That was weird. You there, Coach?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, that was weird. It was like,
yeah, I don't
you're
know
good.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm good. I'm super excited. I'm glad we pulled out a tough win, much needed win. And I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I was saying, throughout this show, you look at the 4-6, you look at the 17-16, you look at the stats. Okay, it's not all great, right? It's not super impressive. This is the NFL. This is not college. This is not trying to get into college football playoffs. This is not trying to build up your resume so a group of committee members can decide if you're playoff worthy. This is just win the effing game, and that's the Rams did today.
Yeah, they did. I mean, and like I said, honestly, I that last set of series that they had there inside the 5, I probably would have played it a little bit differently, right? I think this, I don't know, was it the second down pass that they made?
Yeah,
I think I probably would have ran the ball one more time, and I think they would not have had time to even kick a field goal.
that's true.
So, right. So I think, there was a little bit poor time management, I would say. I think he was trying to go for the jugular and go for the touchdown was all well and good. But I think with the way Freeman was running at that point, I don't understand why they don't give it to Freeman 3 times in a row and then kick it if they have to.
Yeah, it's a tough tough one at the end because I loved that drive. I thought he did such a nice job turning 6.5 minutes into like a 1 minute crunch time
Correct.
game. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And so that's
Yeah,
the thing that's
absolutely.
like, and to do that, getting a 32-yard explosive on your first
Yes.
play of the drive, that's really
Yes.
difficult to do, to
Yes.
suck the clock out.
Yes.
So I really like that. But yeah, I agree with you. It was a little puzzling, but at the same time, just enough to win the game. And
Yeah, and have the fans sweat it out. I think really
Oh, yeah.
what it ended up being, right? So, but I mean, like I said, I feel with the games they have ahead, I think they have a reasonable chance now. And they beat I think a caliber, a playoff caliber team in the Seahawks. So
Yeah.
I feel really good about that.
they might end up swooping in and taking their playoff spot after this because they have now sole custody of that tiebreaker.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and I
Absolutely.
mean, Seattle, like, I can't stress this enough. And, hopefully I've made this a narrative that's, spreading all over. Seattle does not have it easy moving forward. Like,
No.
winning this game set them up to fail. Like, this is a
Correct.
curse. But it started with Washington because, I
Correct.
mean, Washington, and I said this in one of my videos, Washington put out on tape how to beat Seattle. And they didn't win, right? But they put
Right.
out on tape how to beat Seattle with
Right.
the running backs, the pass catching. We saw the Rams
Right.
get involved with that a little bit. And obviously Stafford missed that throw down the sideline. But,
Woo!
I mean,
Huge.
man, like, I mean, keep in mind, if he hits that, that's probably a
Oh,
touchdown.
that was huge. That would have been huge. That
But
would have been huge.
if he hits that, that's also another 100-yard game where they gave up yards to running backs in the passing
Correct.
game. And now to do that when you have upcoming Christian McCaffrey twice, Debo
Mhm.
Samuel, you got, running back, wide receiver, whatever, Tony Pollard,
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift. I mean, it doesn't get any easier.
No.
And then the Steeler game. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, today, what's his face? Warren, he looked unbelievable today.
He did.
You
He
know?
did.
So,
He
I
did.
mean, it's not going to be easy for them. And I don't see that
Right.
getting better. This late in
Right.
the year, if that's your Achilles heel, that's your Achilles heel. Like, that doesn't
Right.
get better. You don't figure that out in week 12,
Right.
because that's a deficiency that is embedded into your defense.
Yeah. No, this was definitely a must win. This is definitely a must win for the Rams. I'm glad they got it. It wasn't easy. Put me through, a few heart palpitations in the process, but like a win's a win, right? So we're all good. Look forward to playing Arizona, and hopefully we get another W there and continue to streak.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It is great to have just to get this win, to come off the bye, get a little bit of a break. I mean, I worked, a decent amount during the bye, but took the weekend off,
Yeah.
then to
Yeah.
be able to come back and talk to, you guys and be talking about a win and just
Yeah, absolutely.
it's a whole
Long
different
overdue. It was long
atmosphere.
overdue. Long overdue.
It is. And I mean, now, we'll see what ends up happening with the Rams, but
Yeah.
this is, you can build off this. I mean, and and this is the good thing, is how Sean McVay takes wins. Okay.
Right.
We don't have to worry
Right.
about him being like, oh, we only won 17-16. We know
Right.
we didn't only win 17-16 because he didn't call plays like he only, you know what I mean? Like, he was like,
Yeah,
I just want to
yeah.
get this win. It was
Correct.
not for,
The juggler.
yeah, he wasn't trying to win with style points. You got to respect
No,
that.
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, but
Nice stuff, though. I mean, I love what I saw in Freeman. I love what I saw in Donald. I liked what I saw in Kendrick, except for that play on the sidelines where he had showboat a little bit.
I didn't like that, but
yeah,
I can't take all the praise away from him because he gets so much shit, and
he does.
I hope the disrespect, like that he got. I hope the apologies are as loud as the disrespect because the Rams do not win this football game without that pick. They don't.
Absolutely agree. I just would like him to show that he's been there before, right?
Yeah.
Just to kind of go back to the sidelines, do his job, and make that next play, right? I don't need that, sideline showboating, whatever he was trying to prove to the guys on the other side of the field, right?
By the way, you gotta like the karma, right? Week 18, totally that game was taken from the Rams. I mean, without a doubt, everyone knows it. The NFL, the NFLPA. I don't know if you ever saw this. The NFLPA called a meeting together, and they basically pitched the idea that the officials needed to be basically reprogrammed into knowing what a flag is, like what a penalty is. I mean, that's how bad it was in Week 18. So to then come back the next year, the following year, and sweep them, it's just so. Oh man, it's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's always great to sweep your rivals. I hope we get to a position where we can do the same against the 49ers, which is a team I can't even look at, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's funny is Rams fans are going to have to root for the 49ers, or at least hope they win. Maybe not root, but hope they win against Seattle. Gives them the best chance for the playoffs. The NFC West was never in in doubt. And that's actually the funny thing, is that there are a lot of 49er fans that are thanking the Rams today for winning.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm not sitting here thinking that like Seattle was ever going to win this division. Right. So it's like, I know they had the 6-3 record, but I never at any point thought this team was going to outmuscle the 49ers to win the division.
Correct.
So I don't know, but yeah, do you have any final thoughts?
I just, like I said, I think it was an excellent one final thought. This is kind of something we were talking offline here. When is Stafford going to get off his man crush on Kupp?
Well, I mean, I guess without Kupp, that's probably the quickest.
Because I think him not having Kupp forces him to do what he actually. I think our offense runs better. I hate to say this, it seems to run better when Kupp is not in the game.
No, I don't think that you're wrong there. And I've said that, and it's upsetting because you have an incredible talent that he's not the problem, but it's the people around him who are the problem. I don't know if it's McVay. I don't know if it's Stafford. I don't know, and I don't think we're ever going to know entirely. I think there's a mix. And I feel like it really takes like a big injury like Kupp being out for them to get all creative. They got a little too creative. I mean, when Geno Smith is out of the game and you're down 9, you don't need to throw that flea flicker,
No.
What the hell was that?
That was crazy. I don't know. They said that they got that from USC. I said, well, they need to keep that in USC because that has no business in the NFL.
Yeah, and look where USC is. I mean, we don't. Exactly. Come on now.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was wow. Yeah. That was bizarre.
Yeah.
That was bizarre.
Now, if we ever learn to use all of them, right? Kupp, Puka, even I liked what I saw in Trammell today. Freeman. Freeman. Running like a beast. If we are able to distribute the ball across the field, we are so much better offensively. Forget throwing into double coverage or triple coverage on Kupp. Forget that. I know he brings down 70% of them. But you got so many other players out there that can, contribute to the team.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my final thought is hopefully, I mean, I'd like to see Kupp back, but I'd like to see Kupp plus, us being able to get to other players.
No, I agree with you there. Absolutely agree with you. And we'll see what ends up happening. I think Kyren Williams is going to be a huge one, but appreciate you, Coach. Hope to
you're welcome.
Talk to you next week.
I love the fact you put this together, and thank you for putting us and allowing us to talk about the Rams, which I love to do.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Community continues to grow. Love it. and appreciate your participation.
You're welcome.
All
Go
right.
Rams.
Yeah, absolutely. You take care.
All right, take care.
All right, so I am going to take a little swig of water here, and I'm going to bring somebody on right after. Man. All right. Much needed. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go with Will. Will, how's it going?
Yo, what's up, Jake? I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. It's funny. First message I saw. So after they win, I just tweet out, Rams win. Then I, get to the studio, my studio, and I start setting things up, and I see I wasn't really looking at much, but I had Discord open, and I just see start that stream or whatever you said, and
Yes,
I was like,
sir.
and I
Yes,
was just
sir.
like, oh, you already know, like.
Oh,
So-
yeah, dude. I am excited to talk about this one.
Yeah, you actually just reminded me while you're talking, I'm probably going to change the thumbnail to a more decisive thumbnail. Maybe some celebrating, get more people to
Oh,
click on it. Because right now it's just
Yeah.
the default. Bobby Brown is about to, I think Gino's getting rid of the ball. So yeah, we gotta switch it.
Feel
But
that.
what are your thoughts on this game today?
Man, Jake, I remember I called in exactly 2 weeks ago after we lost to the Packers, and I said to you, call me crazy, but I don't think this season is over. And most of the people in the chat did call me crazy. But me and you have both been, on the same page with this. We've both been saying it this season. We didn't think the season was over. And I said, and you said it too, I've seen what you've been saying all week, that if we beat Seattle, then all of a sudden, the season we're right back in the mix. We beat them. I don't care that it was an ugly win. I've been listening the whole time, just as you said, it's the NFL. The Seahawks are a good team. That was a quality win.
Yeah.
Beating the Seahawks by 1 point is still a really good win. The defense played great. Now we got the Cardinals and the Browns. Here we go. This is like we have a very good shot at being 6-6.
Yeah, it's all in front of you. So you
Right.
have to step up. And I thought today was pretty good for the Rams. The Commanders pretty much got knocked out by the Giants of all teams, which you just really didn't
Yep.
expect. I don't think anybody had Tommy DeVito playing the way he did. But you look at the playoff picture, and it's like, okay, the only thing that would have been perfect is if the Packers lost to the Chargers, but no one at home is sitting like, yeah, man, that Packers team is really going to be the one that stops the Rams from getting in. No.
Yeah,
The
I'm not
reason
worried
why
about
we're
that.
so frustrated that they lost that game is because the Packers aren't a good football team. Like that,
Right.
that is why.
Right.
So the Packers upcoming, they got the Chiefs and the Lions.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they're losing both those games.
Exactly. So, them sitting at 4-6, just like with the Rams. Right now, the Rams should be considered the 8th seed. They're not. They're the 9th seed, but they're better than the Falcons. They're better than the Bucs. They're better than the Packers. They're better than the Commanders, who are 4-7. They're better than the Giants and the Bears, who are both 3-8. The Cardinals are 2-9, and Carolina's 1-9. I think they are better than Seattle. I really do believe that. They've beaten them twice. So I don't think it's a fluke that they won both games. So now, you look, and Seattle's the 7th seed, and Minnesota is the 6th seed. Both are 6-4. Then Dallas is at 7-3. Dallas is running away with that 5. I've said that. That's locked up. So now you're talking about 6-7. And I don't think the Vikings are a guarantee here. And here's why. I think they're losing tonight. There's a lot of hype about them right now. Okay. I think they're going to lose tonight against Denver. I don't know why, but I feel like Denver's kind of turning a corner.
Denver's playing well.
Yeah, so I kind of like Denver to win this game. And I'm not sold on Josh Dobbs. He's playing well right now. Don't get me wrong. But, upcoming, look, like the Bears they gave it to the Lions. Like they really should have won that game. That's going to be at Soldier Field. Then they have the Bengals without Burrow. I think they win that game. With Burrow, that would have been different. Then the Lions twice to end the season. So, I mean, the Vikings are not locked in. They're not playing a cupcake schedule either. They also have the Raiders who, man, the Raiders aren't really going away either. I mean, I think they gave, the Dolphins a little scare today. That game was somewhat close. It was 20-13. So, yeah, I mean, then you look at Seattle, and like I've said, they're playing that murder's row. We talk about the 49ers twice, Dallas Eagles. I mean, yeah, Will, when you said like they were in it, like I was sitting there like agreeing with you 100%.
Yeah, you were.
Because I think people really are underrating how bad the NFC is. I mean, it is pitiful. It is so bad. And people will just, the rebuttal will be, well, who said the Rams are good? And I'll just say this. Look at the AFC. If the season ended today, the Bills wouldn't make the playoffs. The Colts would be out of the playoffs. The Bengals, the Raiders, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Jets, all these teams have at least 4 wins. That goes down to the 14th team, Will. Right. They don't have a 1-win team, and they have 14 teams with at least 4 wins. The NFC has 12, so clearly the AFC is better, but also, winning record, they have multiple teams, at least 500 or better. They have down to 10. So the 10th team, the Bengals, are 5-5. They only have 7 teams in the NFC that have at least a 500 or above record. Everyone's below 500 after the Seattle seeded 7th. So it's wide open. It really is.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you know what's kind of like a random thought I had, Jake? It's the only good thing about the Rams being more average this year is these wins feel so much better. It's almost like if you go back to 2018 when we start 5-0, for example, obviously wins are still awesome, but it doesn't have quite the same weight when you're starting 5-0, you're starting 7-2, but man, this one felt so good, bro.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because it's ugly. 17-16 ball game, but yeah, it felt really good to get this win. It felt different than years past. Before it was just all right, why are we not winning this game? We should be winning this game. It wasn't necessarily that. There was some sort of taking for granted, but also an ego to it. We're way too good to be. What is this? You know what I mean? With this, it was exactly. I don't know if we should win this game, but I kind of feel like we're about to.
Yeah, well, we stole that one.
Yeah.
It feels so good. And it's man, Jason Myers missing at the end, he's been so good. He's been so reliable. Just, I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I felt confident going in, but when it was, 13-0 still entering the fourth quarter, the way we won that game, I am, to be honest with you, I felt good coming in, but I am surprised that we were able to pull that one out.
So the moment I realized that, the Rams were going to pull this thing off is actually right after the interception, when the Rams were able to come back from that and there wasn't any sort of waverness. You know what I mean? The defense didn't waver at all. I was okay, all right. Because that's the thing, is that this defense has been so good, but when an offense, when Stafford throws a pick or something, it's everything goes downhill. And I didn't see that. I thought they elevated their level of play. And that was really the difference, I thought, in this one, is that when they're able to elevate their level of play, then I thought the offense was, able to eventually try to meet them in the middle, and it worked. And they did, and they were able to overcome it. So, again, it's one of those games where you don't throw it away. You learn a lot from a game like this. These are actually kind of a blessing because you win, so you don't have to take the loss and you still learn from it. You know what I mean? And I feel looking at this, I mean, hey, a win is certainly a win, and, wins keep you in the playoff race. Moral victories do not.
Right.
So
No, the defense, I give the defense a lot of credit. I give Darion Kendrick a lot of credit because exactly like you said, if Rams fans are gonna give him crap like the whole season whenever he plays bad, he plays poorly or he does something wrong, like come on, it has to go both ways. Like we don't exactly like you said, Jake, we don't win that game without Darion Kendrick today. So
no,
huge credit to him. I know you have a lot of people, so I'm gonna just say this last thing.
yeah,
I just the last thing I wanted to say is kind of picking up on what Coach Ray was talking about with our offense, with Cup on the field versus off the field. Jake, I don't pretend to be a football expert. I'm a huge football fan. I'm not an expert. All right, I'm not like a X's and O's guru.
that's
But
okay.
I do think it's interesting that if you go back to 2021, I remember there was this huge, debate and discussion about why isn't Robert Woods getting the football? And it almost seemed like only one receiver could eat in this offense. And so again, I'm not an expert, so I don't know I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because of McVay. I don't know if it's because of Stafford, but I do find it really interesting and kind of concerning that it just doesn't seem like Puka and Cup can both eat in this offense. They're both so talented, it doesn't make sense to me. So it's frustrating. I don't know, I guess we'll have to see how it plays out the rest of the season, but that was the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about. I thought that would be obviously a really, really good duo. I'm just head scratching, honestly.
Yeah, it is weird, and I mean, this is where like I struggle to say it was entirely Stafford because I know people have made up their minds. Oh, Matthew Stafford, I've moved on from him. He needs to retire. All of that. He doesn't spread the ball out enough. And then I say, okay, well, why did Brandon Pettigrew, Calvin Johnson, and Nate Burleson all have over 100, targets? You know what I mean? And it's like people act like he's been just throwing to Calvin Johnson, Cooper Kupp his whole career. That's not true. It's why I was so high on getting Matthew Stafford. And I think there's a little bit of revisionist history when it comes to Jared Goff. I don't think people like quite realize why the Rams got rid of Jared Goff. Like, I mean, to an extent they do. But when you hear some of the things and then like, today where he throws 3 interceptions, should have been 4, and there's not a peep, right? And it's like then, Stafford throws one on a trick play, which is pretty much an arm punt, and everyone's going, not everyone, but a lot of people are going at him on social media. It's like, all right, there's something up here. Look, what I think people have forgotten, and I have not, is that Jared Goff would force feed Cooper Kupp. This is not just Stafford. And it was obvious his last year. So, that leads me to believe a lot of this has to do with Sean McVay. But I think it's fair to mix them both, to blame them both. But yeah, the offense is very, it leans on one guy very heavily. And I think that's definitely fair to say. No doubt about it. Is that fair to say? So
I hear you. I think I would probably, if I had to guess, I think it is more so on McVay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will. I'll talk to you next week, my guy. As long as you're on here.
Sounds good. I will call in next week after we beat the Cardinals. Have a great weekend. Rest of your weekend.
You too, my guy. Take care.
All right. See you, dude.
Monty, how we doing?
Because he made us that false hope shit like he was coming back. Oh, running back. Oh, we finna do it again. Like, don't give us false hopes, motherfucker. Then, and I know it's a business and things of that nature. We shouldn't get attached, but don't come give us false hopes and then you take off. You know what I mean? It's like, God damn, I thought he was coming back, but it's okay, right? It's okay. It's not, you got the next man up situation, but I still think we're gonna rebuild. But one thing I like about Stan Kroenke is he got that big ass stadium. Stan Kroenke is a winner. One thing about him, want to build that team to win. So it might be a couple years before we get back into real title contention, right? Right now we just riding off faith and hope, you know what I mean? And we still got our Super Bowl. There's some teams that ain't got one Super Bowl. So shit, we can wear our Super Bowl shit whenever we want. But, he's going to figure.
All right. I'll let him have that conversation. I didn't. It's a problem when you pull people out that are clearly not muted. All right. Phoenix, how's it going? You're muted, so I'm going to bring you in. Oh, man, that was funny.
Jake.
How's it going, man?
Good.
Why is that? It's not like the Rams won or anything.
I know, huh? It's good getting a win today, man.
Uh,
Oh my God. This game. Ugh.
They needed it.
Oh, this is stressful.
Yeah. So I'm not doing like, 20 questions today or whatever. I'm just kind of like, what are your thoughts? And then I'll move on to the next person, because it's just kind of, when there's a win, there's not really much else to say. I mean, just kind of let people vent. But you know what I mean? It's like, for the most part, we're a little bit more happier, I would say, than the last few weeks.
Oh, I'm thrilled right now. My thoughts on the game, at first it was kind of a little dicey because, Seahawks, they were coming on strong, and I agree with everybody. Well, I like Geno. He's a good quarterback. It's a shame that, he's injured. I hope that he's okay and stuff like that. But all in all, I'm glad that we got this win. A lot of questionable things, but the defense again kept us in the game, and fourth quarter Stafford came back, after I thought it was lights out when he got hit. I thought that was a pretty nasty hit that he got, but
that dude
I'm glad he
made a steal.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and I hope this shuts down like the Stafford haters and stuff like that. Like, I know Stafford can be, annoying at times with, the picks and, and all that stuff. But, name one quarterback that has a lot of heart, that can, get freaking like mauled over and then come back and, and go out there and win you a game,
There's just not many quarterbacks like Stafford. I mean, to make the throws he makes, to your point, to just kind of take that shot in the sternum. I mean, that might have knocked out some quarterbacks. I mean, there are quarterbacks around there, like Kenny Pickett was playing with broken ribs, like stuff like that. But Stafford's been doing it for a long time. That's the difference. He's 35 and he continues to do it.
But see, that's the dangerous part, though, that, he's getting older and, he can't be taking all those shots because, like, again, I thought this like season was going to be a repeat of last season where, he gets injured and then, okay, let's just shut him down for the rest of the season, but, it was kind of scary, but I'm glad that, I know he's not 100%, but I'm glad that he was, he wasn't like injured any further. So I'm just hoping that, he can keep upright for the rest of the season. But, this was, like you said, a must-win game for us. I'm glad we got the dub. I think this was do or die for us, but this was a must-win for Seattle because, like you said, their schedules is going to be pretty tough, like at the tail end. So, and plus, Walker's down, and then, we don't even know the extent of Geno. It looked like he was okay, but, I think that was just kind of like the adrenaline and stuff like that. But hopefully, like I said, he's okay, but, and they got the Niners on a short week. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about
not great.
That's not great, but I'm happy that we got the dub. I don't know, like, I don't care how we got it, but we got it, and like I said, the defense kept us in it. I was getting kind of pissed off with Kendrick, but it was like, oh, another 15-yard penalty? Oh, thanks. Oh, you got an interception? Okay, cool. Wait, what? You got like I don't even know what kind of call that was, but another 15-yard penalty? I was like, okay, whatever. Like, but, all in all, good day. I'm happy. I'm glad I didn't like go and punch the wall or something. It was good. Like, bring on the freaking Cardinals. Let's go. Let's keep this train rolling. And
absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I know you're happy too. So
I'm very happy. I'm
This
very
is this is a
hyped.
good this is a very good day.
Very
You
good
know,
day, man.
this
Very
this
good.
would have this would have been sweeter if the Niners lost for some freak reason, but of course, it's just dominated. So, but
Eh,
it's okay.
it would have hurt the Rams' chances though. It was one of the weird things today where it's not. I'm
Oh,
I'm,
right.
I'm not gonna like openly root for the Niners, but you know
Mhm.
that's the
Oh, I
thing.
see.
Yeah, it's like
Right,
Tampa's
right, right.
still in the mix, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah. So it ended up working out. Today was pretty good for the Rams. Everything that needed to happen happened except for the Packers. So leave it to the
Yeah.
Chargers. Can't do anything right. Can't even win right. Uh,
And that
and
is so bizarre. That is so bizarre because it's like they're like a pretty stacked team, you know, and it's like they're struggling, and it's weird, but yeah, not very good for the Chargers either. So,
yeah, no, I definitely hear
oh
you.
well.
No, Ray, definitely not rooting for the Niners. God, you deal with enough of those fans like I do. Being a content creator, they're always in my mentions. Trust me, I couldn't root for that team ever.
No, I despise the Niners. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is about them. Like, the Seahawks, like you said, like I think you said it perfectly. They're like a cockroach. It's like they're always there. They're never
Always.
gonna die. And it's like it's either like, it's like they could just I don't know, they could just ruin your chances somehow, some way. Like, but the Niners, I don't know what it is about them. I just from like some of the players, I don't like Shanahan. I just despise everything 49ers. Like I don't know what it is. I just can't deal with them. I can't
Lately,
like
Shanahan has driven me nuts. I don't like the way he talks in pressers. It does bother me for sure. I don't
right.
like the passive aggressiveness. Okay, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I don't like it either. Plus I think he was kind of disrespectful to like Steve Wilkes when he would like kind of threw him under the
Oh,
bus. But
absolutely.
then But then the next week, like Steve Wilkes, like kind of just like owned that game, and like what did Shanahan do? It's like, dude, come on, what are you trying to like? What do you expect? So, because I have a lot of respect for Steve Wilkes too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just, but like I'm not gonna like dwell over it. Today was a good day. We got our dub. We're still in this mix somehow, and I just hope and I was listening to like some of the guys talking in the waiting room, like how how Cup exit out of the game and how like the offense was like clicking, you know
Yeah.
and it's like, see, this is what I feared was like, you know Cup, because that's Stafford's number one guy. Like I was just afraid that he was just going to be just focused on him and just taking away the connection with like Nakua and Atwell, because it was good that week one. That was a phenomenal game, like without Cup. Like, are you kidding me? Like, who would have thought like we would have won that? Like, everybody like had us out of that game, like, oh yeah, Seattle's going to dominate, like, but it was like, no, we dominated them because Stafford was just you know not so like just one sided, and it's just like he was spreading the ball. And you know I was just hoping that that kept going up, and especially when Cup came in, it's like, okay, who's he going to throw the ball to? But defenses are just going to keep coming at Cup because that's oh yeah, he's just going to throw it at him. you know so it was good, and I liked how like Trammell got into the mix too. So you know and Freeman is a freak of nature. I'm glad that we stuck to the run, at times. I'm glad we weren't so pass happy. So,
Yes.
it- but that one pass to Hendo, oh man,
Uh
I was just like, I was like, are you kidding me? I was like yelling at my screen. I was like, are you? Well, you know, choice of words. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, so, but um Yeah, man. I don't know what else to say. It's just it's it's a weird thing coming on when we have a win, because usually the last few times, we were always so close, with the dub. But this feels good, like
It does, man. It does. Well, I'm gonna get another person on here so I could try to get through everyone before the end of
no
the
problem,
night.
Jake.
But
Yeah, I
appreciate you,
know.
my friend, and we'll talk next week, hopefully.
Yep, sounds good, Jake. Have a good night, man.
All right, later, Phoenix.
All right.
Okay. All right, Monty, I'm not pulling you out of a conversation, hopefully.
What's fan shit? Oh, Jake.
There we are.
Oh man, I'm just back there having a whole conversation.
Yeah. Do you want me to put you back over there, or are you good?
Oh no, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So I pulled you out earlier, and you were
I'm
just
so
going
sorry,
off.
I'm so sorry, bro. I apologize. I'm sorry to the chat. I'm so sorry, Jake. I never do that to you, my brother.
No, you're good. The reason why I took you off and put you back is because I wasn't sure who you were talking to. I didn't want to interrupt. So that's
Man,
why.
we in
Yeah.
the back, bro. Like I say, bro. We act like we're not even on Jake's show. It's the Discord. Like we having a whole conversation. What we gonna talk about when we get on here? Is Jake go like this? Is Jake go like that? We having a whole conversation in the back. But how you doing, my brother? How's everything going?
Everything is good because most of everything is based on if the Rams win or not. That's just the way it is when you do
That's my
this
life
for a
is-
living.
Okay, so I've been going through a hard death because I lost a cousin, man. So
I'm,
that's why,
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
man, it's a close cousin too, Jake. It's like a cousin, it's like a brother, man. And he got into a fight with a dude, and the dude came back and actually shot him in the back, one bullet and killed him, man. So that
Oh
hurt so
my
bad.
God.
My kids was at home, his wife was at home. It's just like, oh man, it's just terrible. But I'm not gonna relive that. But man, Jake, when I'm sorry, Jake, you gonna ask me a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, prayers to you and your family. That's so heartbreaking. I'm so sorry, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's really tough. And everyone in the chat, if you can, just send some thoughts and prayers to Monty and his family. That's I can't even imagine.
And I thank y'all for that as well.
Yeah,
But man,
absolutely.
what a win. What a win.
No,
I thought,
absolutely. What a win. I mean, they needed it, man. They needed it.
listen, I thought we was gonna lose. So I said, man, as soon as they line up for the field, I just cut it off. I said, I'm waiting for Jake to come. I swear, as soon as I cut it off, I seen like your thing drop Discord, being Rams defeat. I say, oh my God, he missed the field goal. I'm like, bro, he missed it. I went back, man, one of the happiest moments of my life, Jake.
Wait, that's how you found out?
That's how I found out that you. I said, I'm not, because I wasn't looking. I said, I'm not watching. I'm going to see what Jake say.
Oh
I
my God.
Watch it, bro, because I wanted that win so bad, bro. And then, because it's like with Sean McVay, when he threw the ball down there, which I understand, right? We going up 1 point, we kick the field goal, but you still got to believe in the defense and play smart football at times, Sean McVay. Like, run the ball, make them use the last time out, run it again, run the clock down, kick the field goal, get them the ball back with about 40 seconds left.
That's crazy. I still can't believe. So you didn't see the end and you just saw Rams defeat Seahawks JE live.
JE live. That's what I was waiting on. When
Love
I seen
it.
JE, I seen Rams defeat Seahawks. Man, I almost started walking again. I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, I've been saying it, and obviously I've been getting a lot of, you're delusional. You have no idea what you're talking about. The Rams are trash. The Rams are going to lose. And, for me, it's always funny when it comes down to it, because there are obviously the fans that just stay even keel throughout the game. Then there are fans that are up and down. I don't blame you for being either, because this game was incredibly frustrating. But there's the fans that, and who I'm talking about, that's like, oh, this game's over. We're picking in the top 5. Caleb Williams, come on down. And then they win. And it's funny how just things can change like that. And I think the biggest issue I have, and I understand it's hard, but like if we could just do a better job of just letting these teams finish out games, if we could just do a better job of letting these teams play 2 halves, 4 quarters before we jump to the conclusion, like immediately on the first drive, it's like fire Raheem Morris, fire Sean McVay, fire this guy, trade Stafford, Cooper Kupp is washed. Like, it's so annoying. You know what I mean? It's why this game I normally stay on Twitter a little bit while I'm watching and like interact. This game, I was just like, man, I'd already seen so much on my feed of just, I want this, I want that in the draft. I'm like, bro, the Rams are on TV right now. Like, the Rams are playing football. Like, I don't care about the draft. And I've been covering the draft since 2017, making full player reports and whatnot, scouting, not just following, but like legitimately scouting players. I don't even care about the draft right now. Like, it's just like, Monty, like, at some point or another, it's week 11. They didn't get their 4th win until week 14 last year.
Yep.
It's like,
It's like, and I'm with you on that one. We are in the season, man. This is not the last game of the season, right? This is not the time. Like, it's a time and place for everything. That's why when see, Jake, man, I'm sorry, let me not say that because they go kill me in the chat. But you have some people that are real.
Oh, did they?
Can you hear me, Jake? I'm sorry.
I was like, did the chat get to you? I was like, what?
Oh no, somebody's trying to call my phone.
Oh, okay.
But you have some people that are real football fans that understand that.
Oh boy, I think the TVA is coming after you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jake. I'm on my phone. But it's some people that are real football fans that we understand that football is not over. When the Super Bowl is over, football is still going on, right? We have training camps, we have OTAs, we have the off season. It's a lot that goes on before we get back to August and the preseason. So that's when it's time to talk about trading and what you need and things that while we, man, I don't want to talk to you. While we are here, bro, and we are still in the season, we not giving up on our team. I'm the type of fan like this, Jake. I feel like we gonna win every game that we play. I don't care who it is that we play. I don't care how sad we are. That's why I went to every game when we was in St. Louis. I feel like we're going to win every game until they prove me wrong. This is the NFL where everybody get paid to play, and you never know what's going to happen on any given Sunday. So until they beat us, right, we're going to beat them. And I got us going undefeated until they beat us and show us that they can beat us. So I'm serious, Jack. When I say we're going to the ship, I believe that every year. I'm one of those, people can call me a delusional fan or whatever. I feel like we're going to the Super Bowl every year until we get knocked out or we make it to the playoffs and we get knocked out. That's my belief. That's how I feel. Like, football is a religion to me. Like, I really believe that. So I'm looking at the team right now, bro, getting this win, and it's a blessing, but we move on from her and we move to the next game. You know how football goes. It's every Sunday. We take it one game at a time.
No, absolutely. I mean, this Denver Broncos team right now, they're down 10-6 on Sunday Night Football, but they're 4-5, Monty. Remember when they gave up 70 points and they were the laughing stock of the league? The Dolphins were a loss today from having as many losses as this team has right now. Think about that. I mean, this team, I made fun of them as well. Like, who gives up 70 points in the game? And it's like, we've seen some crazy things. That's the way this league is. And, I had the Bengals winning the Super Bowl this year. And now it looks like they're the one team that we know outside of the obvious 1 and 2 win teams that isn't going to win the Super Bowl because Burrow's out for the year. You don't know. It's an unpredictable type of sport. No one would have expected, the Joe Burrow second year led Bengals coming off a torn ACL. They'd go 10-7 and end up in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, no one would have, expected that. I mean, they had to beat Vegas. They had to beat the Titans in Tennessee. They had to beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. And then, they went to the Super Bowl and played the Rams. I mean, that team, people were doubting them. They started off, 5-2. Then they lost back-to-back games. They lost 41-16, Monty, That Super Bowl Bengals team, they lost 41-16 week 9 before the bye against the Cleveland Browns. And then they lost 2 more. They lost to the Niners in overtime. They lost by 20 to the Chargers. They went all the way down to 7-6, but they were able to rally at the end of the season and win 3 of the last 4 games and improve to 10-7, get to the playoffs. And then once the playoffs happened, you know, this is a team that was a wild card team. They did not win their division. So to your point, it's like, yeah, everything's kind of up for, you know, discussion, debate until, you know, it's proven otherwise, because I mean, we have no idea. I mean, you know, maybe people picked the Bengals to beat the Raiders. I did, but the Bengals to beat, you know, the Titans, I might have actually gone that route, but Bengals to beat the Kansas City Chiefs at that point, now you're being a little ballsy there, and they pulled it off. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, they pulled that off. Jacksonville was 3-7 last year. They went to the playoffs and won a playoff game. Their quarterback threw 3 or 4 picks in the first half, came back and scored 27 unanswered. The football is a miracle. I mean, you never know. The game is absolutely there's nothing like it.
There you go. Angels in the backfield. And then it's like this too, Jake. The most is this in every sport. The most dangerous team in the playoffs are the wild card teams, right? Just like look at Arizona in baseball. Look what they did. Went all the way to the World Series. Nobody thought Arizona was going to make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
Right? Now we looking at the Rams like, okay, they saying this, they saying that, but you make it to the playoffs, we got experience. You know what I mean? We got that poise, we got the playmaking, we know how to crowd on, we know how to manage the clock, right? We've been to 2 Super Bowls with Sean McVay. We've been to the playoffs X amount of times with Sean McVay. So we got the experience of poise, right? So we're not going to panic if we down and things of that nature. Like today, we didn't panic, right? We was down, we came back, and look what happened, right? We had to fight back, and we still had to hold them off. You understand? They was a field goal or a touchdown away from putting the game out of reach.
Yeah.
But we fought. Look what happened. So that's a tough win against a playoff team in Seattle who swept us last year. We come back, swept them this year, right? And they was healthy. So, and we not even at full strength. You know what I mean? We just lost Cooper Kupp and beat them. We don't got our best running backs. We lost linemen and players. So it's like we're not even at full strength. So, man, anything is possible in the NFL if you believe, if you put your head down and you grind for it, bro. So I love this team, bro. I'm not gonna never switch teams. Even when they left St. Louis, people jumped over to the Kansas City bandwagon. I'm never leaving around because you just never know, Jake. You gotta. I love going through the pain because it make winning that much more better. You know what I mean? If you just win all the time, I'm not saying people want to like. I love to win all the time. Don't get me wrong, but you know, to experience losing, right? It make winning that much more better. So it's a yin and a yang to everything. So I'm never giving up on the team, Jake, until we are knocked out the playoffs and they say, oh, the Rams are officially knocked out the playoffs. They're not going to make it. Their season is over. I'm with you, my brother. We fit a win out and we going to the playoffs. And I know you say you won't go as far as saying we're going to the ship, but we going to the Super Bowl. And that's how I'm coming.
Hey, I mean, I'd take it. You know, I would. I've kind of always felt like they were going to go to the playoffs, you know, and then obviously things came up and you start to question, you know, can this team actually make the playoffs and all of that. I'm feeling a lot better after today. I feel like today was really, I put myself in position to make a decision. If the Rams lost today, I would have not pivoted away from the season, but I would have talked more about the NFL draft. Because they won today, the draft talk will go on hold. You know, not entirely, but I mean, I'm not going to make a bunch of videos about it and everything. So, you know, that's kind of where I stand right now. If the Rams beat the Cardinals, by the way, next week, and Seattle loses to the Niners like we expect, the Rams, once that happens, the Rams have a 26% chance of making the playoffs. If the Lions take care of business against the Packers and the Cowboys take care of business against the Commanders, that playoff chance goes up to 31%. So these are realistic, likely scenarios. I mean, I would expect the Lions to beat the Packers. I'd expect the Cowboys to beat the Commanders. And I expect the 49ers to beat the Seahawks. So if that's how Thursday goes, if that's how Thanksgiving football goes, the Rams have a 31% chance of making the playoffs. They actually have a 30% chance of a wild card and a 1% chance of hosting a wild card. So that would be winning the division, believe it or not, goes up if they beat the 49ers. But yeah, so Rams definitely still have a shot. The following week, they really need to beat that Browns team. If they're able to do that and Seattle falls to Dallas, that win percentage, or sorry, the chance goes up to 42% to make the playoffs and only 58% on the out. And then if the Chiefs were to beat the Packers, that would go, I think it would stay actually at 42. So then the following week, though, losing the Ravens, it'll be a little bit of a ding if they lose. But then
Jake, it's the Ravens, baby. Come on now.
I do not like them against the Ravens. I think right now, I think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. So that's not going to be an easy one.
Understand this. Lamar Jackson, hell of a player. Love him. No Odell over there. He balling out. He getting healthy. You know, he just got hurt again. But the Ravens have been beaten this season, right? How many times they lost? And against who? So it's like, oh, we got a shot. We most, as long as we got, if Cooper Kupp is okay, he's coming back, and we get on the right page with him and Puka and things of that nature, we most definitely got a shot. If we can hold the Eagles to how we held the Eagles, and we played the 49ers how we played the 49ers, we played those top. I mean, Dallas, they blew us out, right? I give it to them. It is what it is. But, you know, when we play Baltimore, I'm still giving us a shot to beat Baltimore because Lamar, he want to run a lot. And I'm with you, though. I think they're the best team in the AFC right now. I think they catch fire and things of that nature. But it's things that he like to do that we can take advantage of. So, you know, we're going to have our hands full. Don't get me wrong. I know people going to call me crazy, delusional, things of that nature. But we damn sure got a shot to beat Baltimore. And we going to prove it. Just like we beat Seattle today, because this one of them games that, even though they was picking us to win, this one of them games that everybody thought we was going to lose, right? The same sorry-ass Rams. No, we not, right? They thought we was going to lose. And this make up for one of them games that we should have won. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at that. And Baltimore is going to make up for one of them games that we should have won. And that's when people going to take us serious again.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it starts with the Cardinals and Browns first. Then you got Baltimore. Then you got the Commanders. Then you got the Saints. Then you got the Giants and the 49ers. That Giants game could end up being so big in such a... I mean, if you think about it, they have a shot where that Week 17 game could be a playoff clinching scenario. Now, I'm not saying it will be, but could be, you know. I mean, let's just say, you know, the Rams, let's just give the Rams the loss to the Ravens. Let's try to be quote-unquote realistic, right? Seattle still loses the 49ers, right? Then the Falcons beat the Buccaneers, and, you know, we'll move on to Week 15. We'll say Rams take care of business against the Commanders. Seattle loses to the Eagles. And then Week 16, the Rams beat the Saints. And the Seahawks beat the Titans. That doesn't matter because the Rams have already surpassed Seattle based on this. Even losing to the Ravens, the Rams would be 8-7. Seattle would be 7-8. Then Week 17... they clinch playoff berth. So
let's go.
Now, obviously, more stuff has to happen, but the key for the Rams is to win as many games as they possibly can and hope Seattle just absolutely gets decked in the next 4 games. If they go 0-4 the next 4 games and the Rams go 3-1 at least, they can put Seattle in a bad spot. So,
which I believe. Yeah. But Jake, I've been holding you for long enough. I know there's other people waiting to get on, man. I appreciate you, my brother, and everything you do as always.
Appreciate you too, buddy.
And continue doing what you do, bro. And I'm always going to support you, my brother.
Hey, appreciate it, Monty. Thank you so much, you know, for coming on. And we'll hopefully talk after a win next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have a good one, my brother.
You too. You take care, man. All right. Let's see. No Limit, I see you in the Discord. Appreciate the kind words. I just noticed that comment there. All right, guys. Let's go Jack, how we doing?
Jake, my throat hurts. I was like screaming at the TV that whole time.
Weird thing to say. The first thing you
You're right. I'm unhinged. It's been a crazy game. I'm losing my voice screaming at the screen. Like, you know.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I've had a chance to chill out though. Yeah.
HD said pause. Anyway. All right.
Now we can move past that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna give you the floor. What were your thoughts on the game, man?
I rode the emotional roller coaster today. It was back and forth, up and down. Like, oh my god, I don't know what my mindset was before the game. I was just like thinking this is kind of a must win. You know, I like you were saying that like you wanted to like you would have talked a little bit more about the draft if we lost this game today. Yeah. And I don't know if that's exactly what I would have thought, but I definitely my thoughts about the playoffs would have been like, okay, well, we're probably not going to make it at this point. I mean, we'd need a miracle to get in at 10-7. We'd have to win out for starters, which is going to be hard against teams like San Francisco, like Baltimore. So, yeah, I mean, it felt like it was a rough spot to start things out. Like they were chasing the game early. They went 3 and out. They allowed a touchdown. They allowed a field goal. Things were just kind of like, it didn't seem great. Still haven't really played a complete game yet this season. I still want to see, hopefully they can do that against Arizona next week. I want to see them play 4 quarters of like not turning the ball over, not going 3 and out, or maybe only a couple times going 3 and out, but ideally no. And then just, doing the job on defense, getting stops on your own side of the field, the other side of the field, I should say. And then just, they haven't really done that for an entire game this season. I could go on and on and on about that. But yeah, I think the moment, I think you might agree with this too, the turning point where I kind of realized they have a shot to win this game, for me, it was when Aaron Donald ran over Geno Smith with the force of a semi-truck. Yeah. Like, he was not coming back from that. He did, actually. It was like, it wasn't going to impact the game. I didn't think it was going to impact the game, at least. And you saw the Darian Kendrick interception. I need to sign a Darian Kendrick apology form, by the way. I wasn't loving
oh my god,
the penalties, I think, is all I was gonna say. I know that's been kind of a debate among Rams fans, is like Darian Kendrick hasn't been having the greatest season. I think it's more just the penalties that have been really killer. But speaking of penalties, Sheffers,
he's awful.
Get lost. I mean,
I can't even say what Blaine told me about him, but yeah, he's the worst. I mean, he really is, and I warned you guys in my videos. I said, this guy. I mean, home teams win 66% of the time they play in divisional games when he referees. Okay, home team wins 60% of the time he referees. Period, regardless of divisional or not. But he throws more flags than any referee in quarters 1 through 3. And then the fourth quarter, he swallows the whistle. Well, I don't really even feel like he swallowed the whistle in the fourth quarter. But 21 penalties, bro. Like, I talked about this before we got, the calls in and everything. At the very beginning of this live stream, I was like, 21 penalties is unacceptable. Like, and I even sided with the Seahawks a little bit. I was like, some of these calls were ridiculous on both sides. I mean, it's just like when you're making these calls, I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. It really was. And I mean, he's refereed 2 Super Bowls. I don't understand why the NFL likes him so
the
much.
NFL, I don't know why they do this with people. I really honestly have no idea, because you remember Bill Vinovich. He was the referee in that NFC Championship game. If you know, you know. Yeah. And he reffed the Super Bowl a year later. And then just today he screwed a team. I forget what game it was. I I think it was. I want to say it was the Raiders. The Dolphins threw a backward pass that was incomplete, so it should have been a fumble, and Vinovich blew it dead.
Sounds about
So,
right. Sounds
yeah.
about right.
Say no more. Honestly, I don't know why the NFL just likes keeping these guys around. Like Craig Rolstad, we've been through that whole discussion before.
Send him to Mars. I don't know.
Honestly, but yeah,
he's the worst.
Yeah, referees definitely got in the way today for sure on both sides. My mentions were full of Seahawks fans today, and it was just like, bro, like you want to talk like Devin Witherspoon didn't try to suplex Puka Nacua. Yeah, the NFL is a win at all costs league, and I'm happy that regardless of whatever was thrown at us today, we got the job done. And I'm hoping for a repeat next week, because it's maybe not a repeat of like the win by 1 point and like have to try to stop them from
specify
missing a field goal. I'll specify. Yeah, I repeat being in the win column. And I remember before the bye week, I called in on the Packers loss, and I was like, the Rams have some winnable games coming up here. They get a win against the Seahawks. They get a win against the Cardinals. Cardinals are a very winnable team. I know they're looking a little bit better now that Kyler Murray's back in action, but you get to 5-6, you're right back in the hunt. I think they we've kind of agreed probably that the Ravens and Niners are like the only real like strong teams left in this team's way. And obviously, you have to look at the Browns. They're not writing off their year. They just picked up Joe Flacco. So that game might not be as easy as it seems, but the Rams realistically should still win that game. I think the playoff picture, they're definitely still in the hunt. You might not look at it. You might not look at 4-6 and think, oh, they're still in the hunt. I think they're very much still alive in this thing. So
I do too.
Don't run them off just yet.
Yeah, no, I don't. I definitely don't think it's even close to done at all. I think looking at this, I think the Rams are going to do it. Now, they have to do it. It's easier said than done, but
for sure.
But I think they are going to do it. I think that they have a favorable schedule coming up. Maybe it's a little bit more difficult now. The Browns are actually good. The Ravens are the best team in the AFC potentially. But I mean, I think they can beat the Saints at home. I think they can beat the Cardinals. I think they can beat the Commanders, the Giants. I mean, crazy enough, them winning this game today is only going to help them long term, but I think they have enough equipped where they've lost a lot of these games. Keep in mind, three of these games they should have won. It's because they didn't do things like today. They didn't win ugly. You know what I mean? Like they did not win ugly. I mean, if you look, what games have the Rams won ugly this year? Okay, they blew out the Seahawks. They blew out the Cardinals. They won a last-second shootout game in overtime, and this is the first ugly win. They have not won these games. They've only lost these games. If you look, I mean, 24-17 Steelers, that was an ugly game. Maybe the score doesn't show it, but it was. The Eagles game, 23-14, ugly. The Bengals game was ugly, 19-16. The 49ers game was not ugly, but for the most part, like the Packers 20-3, that doesn't really indicate how close that game was. That was ugly. They have not won the ugly games. This was the first time they were able to win an ugly game. And I believe, I'm going to check this, and I could be wrong on this, so that's why I'm going to check it out. But I believe this is the first time they've won with Stafford in November.
I think you're right on that. They only had him since 21, and they didn't win a game.
That was the first win Stafford has ever had in November. Up until for the Rams. Up until the Super Bowl season, he was what? Let's see. Not really fair because he played one game. He played the Seahawks game last year, so 0-1. I mean, So what? He was 1-2-3. So he's been 0-4 in November. But if you flip that around, 4-0, 4-0 means exactly what Stafford is against the Seattle Seahawks with the Rams. He's 4-0. Pretty crazy when you think about it. But yeah, the Rams have not lost Seattle Seahawks with Matthew Stafford, period.
Sean McVay is 10-5 against Pete Carroll. I think that's the most by an active head coach against Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong. I think that's what they said on the broadcast, but
including the postseason. Yeah, it's 10-5.
yeah.
But yeah,
I would venture to say that the only other real like ugly category that we have is the Colts win because we were up 23-0. That shouldn't have been a game. But otherwise,
I mean, it's not
yeah.
ugly though. Like ugly is like low scoring, like smash mouth
Well,
football.
sure.
Yeah, I mean that's
Sure.
ugly, you know.
Yeah, if that's how you define ugly, then sure. I think from a Rams fan's perspective, I think that could have been a much cleaner win. You know, when you're up 23-0, it shouldn't be going to overtime. You shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. You're 100% right. Other than that, there hasn't been like a real like low scoring, like just back and forth defense, that kind of game. It's just
Like,
I mean,
an
credit
ugly
to the
game right
defense
now.
today too.
10-9 on Monday
Yeah,
Night
this
Football or
looks
Sunday
pretty
Night
ugly.
Football. See, this is playing right into the Broncos' hands. By the way, this is what I was saying. And if the Vikings lose this game, it could really help the Rams out because the Rams could they could sneak in and take that 6th seed if they, you know, and that's the thing. If the Vikings fall off, but they just need one spot.
I'm the idiot for thinking Dallas was going to fall off. They just completely proved me wrong today. I thought the Vikings were a dark horse because Josh Dobbs is playing well, but this game hasn't gone according to plan 100%. So
I thought the Rams would beat the Carolina Panthers in the first round of the playoffs as the 5 seed, but coming into the season, and then they would lose to Jared Goff and the Lions in the divisional round.
Oh man, that would have hurt. That can you imagine that and it's still kind of a possibility that they lose to Jared Goff in the playoffs.
I mean, right now, think about this. Right now, the Rams and Detroit, if they were to win out the next 3 games or the next 2 games, the Rams, and Seattle loses the next 2 games, and obviously if the Packers lose one of those games, the Rams would take that 7th seed. If the Rams take the 7th seed, they would play Jared Goff and the Lions in the second, as the 2nd seed. It would be at Ford Field. Matthew Stafford comes back to Ford Field with a chance to spoil a Super Bowl caliber team in the Lions.
Man, the narratives just would write themselves in that case.
It would be crazy because the 49ers
kind of want it to happen now.
The 49ers would be playing Minnesota based on this. Dallas would play New Orleans. If Dallas wins and the 49ers win, then the Eagles would play the Rams if they beat Detroit. So then the Rams could theoretically, if they could steal a game against Philly in a rematch to go to the NFC title game, it would be either the 49ers or Dallas to go to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's way ahead, but it just kind of goes to show you, though. I mean, if they were to beat Detroit, the path for San Francisco is pretty easy, but it's interesting how they dodge, you know, they essentially dodge San Francisco and Dallas, and they would play the Eagles because of the lower seed.
Yeah, it's crazy that can work out. That's just the magic of the NFL playoffs, I guess. It's just...
And I don't think anybody
how
is
it goes.
picking the 4th seed over the 5th seed. I think everyone is picking Dallas over whoever wins the NFC South that probably shouldn't have an auto bid.
Yeah, that's the other thing about the playoffs is we talk about how the crazy possibilities there are, but at the same time, the NFC South is trash. And one team is going to make the playoffs and host a game.
5-5, 4-6, 4-6, 1-9.
And one of those teams is going to host a playoff game this year.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC West even feels like kind of tough right now. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Arizona, but I mean, if Arizona were to beat the Rams, you know, they'd be 3-9. They've
picked it up too. Like they weren't out of that game against CJ Stroud. They looked good. Kyler Murray looked like he was slinging it. So, and he was running it pretty well too. Obviously, that's what Kyler Murray does. But
not going to be an easy one next week.
No, it's not. I think they should win, but it's never a given in this league. Nothing is ever a given.
Yeah, absolutely, never a given is right. But Jack, I'm going to let you go. I might be on later with Gary. Playing some MW3 on Kick, but I'm going to try to get through everyone so I don't pass out.
You mean later tonight or just later in
Just
general?
in general, man. Because
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I get
Just making
I get
sure.
exhausted, man. This team takes a lot out of me, to be fair.
It does. I rode the emotional roller coaster. That's why I came in here and the first thing I said was my throat hurts because I've been screaming at the TV all day. So
So
yeah,
weird.
it was such a weird off-putting thing, but
Oh man.
yeah, I'm gonna go rest up my voice and hopefully be back in action later on. So appreciate you.
Absolutely. Later, my
Take care.
friend. Okay. Let's. All right. I want to try to get everybody on. Still have plenty of people. And we're at the 2 hour and 13-minute mark. Okay, let's try to. Yeah, let's try to do this quick. I feel bad. Everyone's been waiting. Okay, let's see. Rusty, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Jake?
How you doing, man?
Good? Don't collapse on me, Jake. Stay strong.
I'm trying, man. It's a lot.
I know, bro. You'll make it.
I always do.
My God. Well, not gonna lie, Jake. I was watching this game with my dad in the living room, man. Holy crap! I almost had a migraine watching this. It was brutal to watch. It felt like I was in a Saw movie. Jigsaw was slowly torturing me watching these guys play.
Hey, they won though.
Yes, convincing, ugly, but we won.
So what were your thoughts?
Same old with McVay and Stafford doing the unnecessary things they have to. The very mediocre, abysmal play calling by McVay, and then Stafford's. The whole execution of the offense was god awful, and I was happy to think that our bye was gonna help us, but of course, we looked like a freaking JV team out there for like 2 quarters. And then Stafford, I'm not gonna lie, Stafford pissed me off the whole game because of his just rookie mistakes, and he's been in the league for so long, and overthrowing Cup, easy touchdown, and of course they're gonna blame Cup because he didn't reach that ball. And why is he reaching for an underthrown ball? Beats me. Hendo. And you love Hendo, Jake, and he was so freaking open. And Stafford said, "Fuck it, let me throw it to our strength and conditioning coach." Hendo don't want it. Henderson doesn't want it. Yeah, fuck it.
Oh
fuck
my
it.
god.
Cup's down there somewhere, and yeah, then it's stuff like that. Then McVay, oh my god, with that stupid play call where he dumped it to Stafford, dumped it to Tutu. He ran a route and he dropped back, and Stafford got killed in that one. And then you wanted to give the ball to Austin Trammell, and just why would you do that in that critical time of the game? We can't get cute with this, Jake. We can't get cute in our play calling.
I hear you, man.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch these guys because is McVay out there, or is there another OC there? Is Mark Kafka from the Giants calling plays for us right now? Or is it someone that's, because that ain't McVay. That's rookie stuff right there. And of course, the defense saved our ass once again. Again. It's pathetic, Jake. It's abysmal.
But at the same time, you're going up against a good team. They're a rival team. They know you well. Brett Rippon told him a lot, obviously. Told him a lot about the offense. And
he didn't tell him nothing because he no. Well, he kind of did, but at the same time, we kind of beat them. But
I think he had it. I think he had an impact on the game. I do. I normally don't put too much stock into that. Like Robert Rochelle, they had right before week 1. They got him. I don't think he had anything to do with it. But anytime you cut a player that, you know, started, this is somebody that just started a game week 9, I think it was. Week 9, week 9, because they had the week 10 bye. Week 9, and then you cut him. It's like, yeah, man, when you cut a player like that who's started at quarterback, he's going to know a lot about your offense. And by cutting him, you're putting him out there for the whole world to go and pick apart, his brain. And so, I do think that came into it. But moving forward, and, real quick, what are your thoughts on this team moving forward? Do you think this team can make the playoffs? They're sitting there at 4-6. They got some tiebreakers. Favorable schedule upcoming. Seattle has a tough one. How do you see it going?
I don't know, Jake, because every game we play is any given Sunday we can win or lose that game. We probably play the Cardinals hard. I don't know about the Browns because their defense is ferocious.
Yeah, it is tough.
I am not ready to see Myles Garrett being one-man wrecking crew and killing Stafford. Alaric Jackson is going to have a freaking nightmare, and Rob Havenstein. I am not looking forward to that. But we could win, but I don't know, Jake. I thought we were supposed to lose this game, but for some miracle we won it. Not very convincingly, but we won it, and yeah, I don't know, Jake. Probably we can win them, but realistically, we could lose them. It just I am not really certain with these guys, because today they showed me that they played like complete trash, but at the same time they played good enough to win. I don't know if that's gonna help us beat other teams like that, but I don't know, Jake. The Rams are so unpredictable. One day they're playing amazing, and then one day they play like complete garbage. So,
well,
hoping we make playoffs. But
they're 1-0 off the bye, though.
Good.
They're undefeated since they had their bye. Can't take that away from them.
Yep. So I don't know, Jake. It's uncertain. It's uncertain with me. So,
yeah. No,
hopefully we can make playoffs, but I don't know. This team has mentally exhausted me watching them play, and us winning many close games but losing them by one possession. So they kind of have my standards low, but I don't know, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think the way I take from it is they have proven time and time again that they lose these games, and they finally won this type of game this year. They finally won the ugly game that really they were outplayed for the first half. They finally overcame adversity. They lost their number one offensive player, and they were able to beat a tough division rival that you already had a target on your back with because you blew them out and you embarrassed them on their own turf. So to come away with this win, I think it's a big building block, and it goes to show you that as the season goes on, there's going to be more games like this. And now they've already proven to themselves, hey, we can actually get this done when, the margin for error is very slim. So I'm feeling good. Plus Kyron Williams comes back. Cheer up, man.
Yep.
It was a good win. It's a good win, Rusty.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they can keep this thing going next week against Arizona.
Hopefully, Jake.
All right.
Hopefully my demeanor changes next Sunday.
Well, I will say you should probably see more points next Sunday against Arizona than you did today.
Okay, Jake. That's a promise. I'm holding that to you.
All right, they just have to score 18 and I win.
I was promised that you hear this chat. I was promised that we will score more points. Okay.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Jake. Thank you so much, Jake. I'll see you next J Live.
Sounds good. You take care. All right. Whew. Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Let's bring on. Falco, how's it going?
Yo, I'm doing really well. Massive win today. Oh my god.
Needed
What?
that.
Needed that. Despite like ref ball trying to, interfere with the game at the end of it.
Oh my god.
Somehow.
No.
Yeah.
So bad on both sides, man. Just anytime.
Yes.
21
Bad officiating.
penalties.
What the hell?
Like, I remember Colin Coward saying this, I think it was like 2 years ago on the herd, maybe longer. But he's like, when I'm driving home from the stadium, the one thing that never comes to my mind, do you know what the one thing is? I'm never sitting there like, man, I wish they threw more flags.
Right? Like 21 flags is egregious.
Oh,
like
awful.
Yep.
He is so bad, man. Carl Sheffers is so bad. Oh, his staff is just abysmal. But yeah, I'll just give you the floor.
Yeah, sure.
What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, first off, very close finish. I thought that the offense without Cooper Kupp played significantly better compared to when Kupp was playing. Now, I do hope Kupp is okay, but it keeps back on what we were saying, is that the Rams offense doesn't know what to do when Kupp is in lineup.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe Stafford tried to force its way to Kupp. It might be the play calling. We just don't know. But the offense gelled a lot better without Kupp in the lineup. Another thing I noticed that Darian Kendrick, outside of like the 2 really BS flags he had a good game today, I thought. Like, Darian Kendrick had a solid game, I thought. Really boosting up his confidence, as the season has not been treating him that well.
Yeah. I thought he had that interception was so key. They won the game because of, Darian Kendrick came through in a big way. They haven't been able to get turnovers. Yep. That was so huge.
Right. Massive. And finally, that's massive for his own confidence and his own play. So maybe we'll see Darian Kendrick hopefully take a big step up these next couple weeks because of his confidence being higher. Also, just Stafford just kind of looked a little bit off, especially on that second down play to like the missed deep shot to Henderson. That was, Stafford's a little bit shaky, right? He had the bad pick, but we still pulled out the win, right? Like, at that point, I'm just trying to pull hairs about what critiques I can give out, but defense, I thought, played really well in the second half, not as much as in the first. And this has just been another case of like tale of 2 halves, right? First half, Seattle came out swinging up 10-13 nothing, and then we stormed back, scored the touchdown, and then we started building momentum from there. But being 4-6 gives me some hope for the season, especially considering our schedule compared to Seattle's. Dude, Seattle's schedule is so brutal.
It's insane.
San Francisco twice, and Philly, and Dallas, all in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So like, our schedule isn't that easy. It's easier compared to Seattle's, but I'm nervous all about the Cleveland and especially Baltimore. I'm nervous about those 2 games. Arizona and Washington, I'm not as concerned about, but who truly knows, especially in a divisional game? So
I think Arizona is a much better team the last time the Rams played them, but I also thought Seattle was a much better team than the last time the Rams played them, and
right.
we know where that went.
Yeah. Right. With that really close finish. Yeah. So but yeah, those are just my general thoughts about the game. Really happy about the win. We'll see how we carry that momentum forward. Hopefully this could lead into a few key victories, as we could potentially jump Seattle for being second place in the division.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that the Rams win the next two and Seattle drops the next two, and they just take
Right.
the playoff spot right then and there. Then they give it back because of the Ravens game, but I think then they come back. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That Ravens game is going to be really brutal, especially coming off the Cleveland game, on where Cleveland has a really good defense.
Yeah.
Facing off against both Cleveland and Baltimore's defenses in back-to-back weeks is not the prettiest thing on the schedule.
No. That's not going to be fun. Having to deal with the Ravens, but I mean, I'll say this: if the Seahawks lose, all their games in a row,
right, which could very easily happen.
Basically, if the Rams go 2-3 the next 3 games and Seattle goes 0-3, the Rams can still lose that game against the Ravens and still be the 7th seed. So,
all right, I like my chances at that. I like my chances there. But yeah, like I was thinking to myself, like while that game was going on, if we drop to 3-7, the season's over.
Yes, that's how I felt. I felt like that was pretty much the Rams season, hanging in the balance, and the fact they were able to pull off the win was just absolutely huge.
Massive. Oh my God. Again, despite the ref ball, we actually came through and won that game, unlike in like the Pittsburgh game, which that was just awful officiating there as well. But hey, I'm happy to get the win today.
No, absolutely.
Finally, being back in the victory column feels nice.
Yes, it does. It feels cool to like come on live and just like actually talk to people who are happy. Because I mean, the last 3 weeks, I've just talked to people who are just down and upset, and I'm just like, yeah, I hear you. I mean, there's not really much I can do, but
right.
Yeah. So but
yeah.
Oh man, that was
insanity.
Yeah, that was quite the game. But do you have any final thoughts, man, before I let you go?
Final thoughts? Not really. Out there, like hopefully, like the kick streams can get back going, and we can truly build up that community as well. Because kick streams are really cool, guys. Like seriously, just go follow Jake on Kick. The content there is really different compared to what we do here on YouTube. It's a lot more chill, a lot more. It's just a different atmosphere on Kick compared to what it is here on YouTube.
Definitely, 100%. Very different.
Yep.
But hey, appreciate you, man, and I will. I'll catch you soon.
Catch you soon, Jake.
All right. Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. All right, let's go with it's not even letting me add the person. What's going on? This is weird. Let's go with Rams Sexual. How's it going? You are on JE Live. You there? Hello? It doesn't appear. All right, I don't know what's going on. me bring on. Okay, Mom Mitch. How's it going?
Yo, what's up, Jake?
Not much. Just chilling here. Happy to have you on the show. What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, man. Long time listener, first caller, man. In a Discord chat, cool dudes, all Rams fan. Yeah, but this game, man, stressful, man. Took a lot of years off my life. I missed the first half. I was driving back home, and I saw most of the second, pretty much all of it. Yeah, it was rough. The refs were rough on this one, but I'm glad to come out with the win. Happy for DK to get that interception. Matthew played good towards the end, did his thing, got us the win. Sean McVay with his play calling sometimes, man, I don't know. I think you discussed it plenty of times. He needs to hand it over. He needs to hand it over because, like, I'm a defender of him because I became a fan like in 2001 after they lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and I mean I've seen bad Rams football until Sean came here, so I've always been a defender of Sean, but he's given us the best Rams football I've seen. But this is play calling is terrible, man. Especially this year for me. I think it's the first time I agree with you guys that he needs to give it up, and I think they need to run the ball more. That was the problem in the first half. What the guys were telling me. Second half, you're fine. Run the ball more. Give the ball to Royce Freeman. It's becoming cold outside. It's time to hammer these teams. Like no one wants to step in front of that guy. He is huge right now. He looks like he's in great shape.
No, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I agree with you with the play calling, man. Like that jet sweep flea flicker. Like what was that?
Oh, that was
terrible.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. It was so different.
Yeah, man. And the guys in the chat were saying, like, I guess the USC did that play against UCLA or something. And look how that turned out. That turned out an L for them. So, like, come on. But, like, even like that type of plays is something that get Matthew hurt again. I think that's the play. He took the shot, right? To the gut. He was out. I guess they got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many plays play calling, man. It's definitely been rough this year. We were talking about it. A lot of things had to go right for us in order to get this win. I mean, it was a great play calling drive all the way to get us to the red zone, but like this whole season's been a little bit of red zone troubles, and that second down call where you try to do a slant to Puka. I mean, I would rather run it there. Force them to use their last time out, and then if you want to pass on third down, fine. But I know, I believe in making them burn the last time out. I don't know what you thought on that.
Yeah, I get both sides. I don't really think there was a winning, decision or a losing decision on that one. I think that's kind of, Yeah, I mean, you kind of go even par either way. I mean, obviously, if you don't get a touchdown, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, I thought aside from when it got really close in the red area, I thought that drive was a masterclass on how to turn 6.5 minutes into a last-second game. And I think that was really the goal, and I thought he did a nice job with that. I mean, there are some things that, that needs to be fixed, but I definitely liked what I saw out of McVay on that final drive. Would have loved the touchdown. If they lost this game, that's what we're talking about. But, obviously him missing the field goal just kind of validates at the end of the day what the game ends up being. Because if he makes the field goal, then we're talking about that. Why did you, But at the same time, like if, he misses the field goal like he did today, then it was enough. And there's no this or that, or this could have been that, or, they almost, it's not about that because, they have the win in the win column and they needed this. So
I just think for me as some fans, it's just the point you've been talking about. Like, it just emphasized like why he needs to give up play calling. 'Cause
Oh
it's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
it
No,
was just
I get
another
that.
decision. It was like, man, he's like in his head. It's like, man, like you got him here. Like you can make them have the ball with just 40 seconds left. And then
Yeah,
that dump off, which was a bad play by Gino, we were saying, when he dumped off to Charbonnet and like Fuller comes and makes a great tackle, the game's over right there. You know? You don't have to go through the scare of DK getting that big play and then with the field goal. But like you said, a win is a win is a win. And, they pulled it out for
they
sure.
definitely did. It was
And
big time.
and then another thing we're talking about is, I mean, I hope Cup is okay, but the offense got an uptick after he went out. And I think, I don't know if it's more Matthew or McVay. I lean towards more Matthew, but it's like when Cooper Cup's out there, he's stuck on Cup, and he can't go through his progressions as much as he can when he's off the field. And I don't. That's just what I'm seeing when they play. Like that's what I'm seeing from him. I don't know if you agree or not, but I feel like when Phil Cup's off the field, it makes Matthew kind of a better quarterback because he has to actually go the progressions. Maybe Sean McVay runs the ball more, which we've all say he needs to do. I don't. Maybe next year I wouldn't say trade Cup, but because I want to go all in, I think this team has enough where they can make a playoff push. And next year you go get some edge rushers for Aaron, and you have another good draft.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't go well and it goes the other side, then I'm of all three players from like the pillars they were talking about in the off season. I think Cup is the one piece you could give away because you need Matthew. He's a quarterback, and AD is still at the top of his game. I mean, the dude is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Today did make me wonder if Cooper Kupp is going to finish his career as a Ram because, I mean, with the injuries and then of course the offense, it's just it's not even his fault, but it seems like the offense kind of just sticks.
Right.
It's like the this is my analogy here. Watching the NBA, when the ball's just like sticking and there's not enough ball movement and it's only like two different guys and it becomes really predictable. And then if you're the other team, you just put your best perimeter defender on one of those guys. And then the other guy, you put your best rim protector on him and it works out for you. Well, obviously ball movement is the key. And I don't think it's any different in the NFL. If you spread the ball out, it's putting it out there like, hey, you have to defend him because I'll throw to him. You have to defend him because I'll throw to him. If you're not throwing to those guys, eventually they're like, all right, I'm going to cheat my coverage a little bit because I know he's not going to throw to this guy. He's just not going to do it. He doesn't do it. So, yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. But do you have any final thoughts before I move on? Because I got to get through 4 more people before I can head off here.
Yeah, man. Not much. Just I think with the rest of the schedule, like there's a chance for a playoff push, but I'm not. This game didn't make me super confident about it. Like the Cardinals game is going to be a tough game. You got to go one at a time. And Kyler Murray, that game with Houston, they played hard. They played hard. They picked off C.J. Stroud. The guy's been playing great. Not turned the ball over 3 times. So we know our boy Matthew's prone to interceptions. So just we'll see, man. We'll see. They have a chance to win any given Sunday, but this game didn't give me a bunch of confidence that okay, we're good we're prime for a playoff push. But we won.
A good thing they're getting back Kyron Williams. Last time he saw the Cardinals, he had 158 yards rushing. I'm sure they're glad to see him back.
Man, my fantasy team is too.
All right.
All right, thanks, Jake.
It was nice talking with you.
Yeah, bro. Next week.
Absolutely. You take care. All right. Okay. 4 more people. P-Train, how you doing?
Man, my fantasy team is too.
All right.
Well,
it was nice talking with you. P-Train, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think I hear something in the background, so I don't know. It's
I just muted you. You're on.
Oh, okay. It was the stream. All right.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. My wife and child are they were on their way home from that Commanders Giants game, but there's a bad traffic accident, a fatality, and so they're staying up in another hotel for the night.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's really horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really tough. Man, but how are you feeling about the Rams right now, following this win? Because this is a heck of a win to pull it off the way they did. I mean, you can never assume in this league.
Yeah, because like some of the other callers before me, I mean, we had a real long conversation waiting in the chat room about anything and everything, from Tyler Higbee to everything. And a win is a win, like everyone's talking about, absolutely. But there's still, look what it took to get us this victory.
Yeah.
It took everything and the kitchen sink just for us to win by 1 point. And so it's like we'll take the victory because it is like the win's the win. But there's still, whether it's like everyone was saying, with Cooper Kupp going down, then we start to play better. Matthew Stafford was forced to go to other receivers, go through his progressions, all those things. And so we were like talking about it's like, well, maybe at the end of the season, do we trade Kupp or do we trade Stafford? Because, to me, I lean more towards Stafford being the issue, where he's so focused on Kupp. Everybody tees off on that, and he doesn't throw to many other people. I mean, no one really targets Higbee anymore. He's just there blocking, and yet we pay him all this money with this extension to be a blocker. So I'm like, maybe we get, as a hypothetical, if we were to trade Stafford at the end of the season or something and let Wentz be the quarterback and maybe get somebody in the second round, another quarterback in the draft, maybe go that route. I don't know, because I think it's more Stafford than it is Kupp, but I don't like Kupp's injuries either. That's been mounting up too.
Yeah, I mean, I thought throughout the game, not really Stafford, but I thought this could be Kupp nearing the end of his Rams tenure. And it happens quick. I mean, we saw with Robert Woods, it just took his first season-ending injury to be the nail in the coffin for him. And I mean, he was signed to a long-term deal, so
yeah,
they moved him, salary dump and everything. I mean, here's the thing. I think the Rams love Cooper Kupp. I think the Rams love Matthew Stafford. I think in a perfect world, they want them to retire Rams. There is a chance Stafford at some point is traded if he wants to keep going, and the Rams say they find their franchise quarterback in 2025 or 2026, and a team will take him on. There's a possibility there. I think when it comes to like Cooper Kupp, that would probably be the one that is most likely. I guess we'll find out, because I mean, to me, you got to get that left tackle in the draft. Although Alec Jackson did a great job on that final drive. I thought he did an outstanding job protecting Stafford on that final drive. So I got to give him credit. But
I think he did. I think he did better in the second half. He wasn't very good in the first half, but in the second half, I thought he stepped up.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think the second half was so key. The way the offensive line really kind of rallied around, because they didn't play well in the first half. You're absolutely right. I do wonder, and I know this might just be fan speak, but I genuinely do wonder how much the Brett Rippon knowledge of the Rams offense, mind you, he started in this offense last week, or, the last week that they played. I do genuinely wonder how much that impacted the start of the game. Like, I really don't normally go about this route. It's normally something like, yeah, I'll mention it. I really do feel like that had something to do with it.
It could be. I didn't think about that. It could be.
And then you make the adjustments in the second half, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, they look better in the second half. It's like, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, It's like, did he give him the playbook and sneak it out the door?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, and it's funny. I said this to my brother and my father when I was watching the game. I was like, this is why you don't cut a guy who started a game for you at the most important position on the team, week 11, like week 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm the furthest thing from a diehard Brett Rippon fan, but I mean, just let's call it like it is. Like, getting rid of a guy like that with that much knowledge of your offense, it's a dangerous game to play.
And the Seahawks only picked him up for that very reason, to get his knowledge.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they turned around and dropped him a couple days from now and kicked him off the team.
Wouldn't shock me in the slightest.
Used him and abused him.
I mean, the reason why I wasn't surprised is they did this earlier in the year. I don't know how many people caught on. They picked up Robert Rochelle. The only difference is Robert Rochelle didn't have the full defensive playbook. He didn't make the 53.
Yeah.
That's the difference. When you cut a guy mid-season and he started a game for you at quarterback, he has a pretty good idea of what your offense is. So, I'm definitely not about to, write that off. Now, the Rams know going into it, hey, Brett Rippon, who was just on our team 2 weeks ago, is now on the Seahawks, who we're playing. We should probably be cognizant of the fact that if we do this, this, and this, he was going over it in practice 2 weeks ago, But who knows? I have no idea.
You have to totally change your game plan going into it, knowing he's on the Seahawks now.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to figure that out or worry about that until 2024. So.
Yeah. I there's these injuries though with Stafford, Kupp, like I've been saying, like we've been talking about for weeks now. It's like, that magic number 30. They keep, these players are hitting their 30s. Tyler Higbee's 30. He's banged up. The only one who seems to be healthy that's 30 and over is AD. So I agree that it would be easier to move Kupp before Stafford, but injuries aside, I still say it's Stafford with his bromance with Kupp, because we've seen it at the beginning of the season. Without Kupp, he was forced to go to other players. Kupp comes back, he's focused on Kupp again. Then Kupp goes out in this game, and then everything turns around just like that. I'm like, that's evidence right there that that's Stafford, who cannot seem to go through his rotations and focuses so much on Kupp that it's ridiculous and it's hurting the team. So the $64,000 question was, well, who do you get rid of, if anybody, at the end of the season, Stafford or Kupp?
It would be Kupp for me then.
Yeah. Well,
I just think Stafford's too good to just up and get rid of. And plus, I mean, he's far from the issue. I think the throws he made in this game, it definitely balances it out, because you talk about that throw that he makes on the last drive, the 32-yard throw to Puka Nacua. There's only 5 quarterbacks that can make that throw in the league, and he's one of them. So, he's one of those guys where I just think we're going to continue to take him for granted. And then when he's gone, we're going to see like, hey, our quarterback
we
now can't
Stafford
make that
back.
throw. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I'll never take Stafford for granted regardless, because I've always been a fan of his from afar. But, and then I wanted him. But just watching Brett Rippon, just watching, Baker Mayfield and John Wolford, like, you can tell Stafford is a lot better than people realize.
Yeah. And do you think though, with Wentz in camp right now, if he learns the system through the rest of this season, stays with us and has a OTAs and training camp, that maybe he could take over this team and be just as effective, being a little bit younger, a little bit more healthier than Stafford?
I mean, I think Wentz will. I think they'll bring him back, but I don't think he'll be the starter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Wentz will have the same knowledge level as Matthew has gained over these years, even though Wentz has been in the league long enough, But I think Wentz is just a little bit more mobile within the pocket, and he's got a good arm, and he's healthier, and about maybe 5 years younger too. Maybe he's that bridge quarterback we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of always how I felt like he could be. I don't think they should be in any hurry to go and grab a quarterback. I don't think there's not just a guy that's going to be immediately as good as Stafford was the Super Bowl season. Jaden Daniels is probably my favorite option. If he's there in the second round, I'd take him in a heartbeat. But left tackle to me is the biggest thing by far. I really, really can't stress enough. I'd pass on every single player in the draft over, as long as if you told me ahead of time, I could have an insurance run where it's like blackjack and I get one of the top 3 offensive tackles. But that means if a Caleb Williams or a Drake May or whoever falls into my lap, I can't pick them. I have to pick that left tackle. I would take that all day, every day. Because
even if
sorry, what were you saying?
Even if that choice was between Marvin Harris Jr.?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Because there's nothing more important than having a franchise left tackle, except for having a franchise quarterback.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I feel like you can definitely get plenty. You could get plenty out of Stafford the next couple of years. And if he had a legitimate, Pro Bowl, all pro level left tackle, athletic, I think he'd be fine. I think he'd finish out his contract. He'd be a free agent in 2027, and then you could figure out the quarterback then, or a little bit before then.
I can't see the Rams having Stafford in 2027.
Well, they wouldn't because 2027 is when his contract expires, so it'd be 2026 would be his last year.
I don't even want to see that. He's too many injuries. I think his brain is awesome. He can dissect defenses. He knows where to go and everything. But that body is just been beaten and bruised so much over the years.
That I agree with you. That I agree with you on.
Well, I'm gonna let you go unless you got a question, because I know you're getting tired and
I'm getting tired.
You still got a few other players. So
I'll
try to be kind to you.
I appreciate it, my friend.
All right, Jake. You have a great week.
You too. Take it easy.
All right, now. Bye.
All right. Later. Okay. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna do, since it's been almost 3 hours. Wow, 3 hour stream. Can't you tell we won? Since it's been almost 3 hours, and I appreciate everyone's patience, but I'm dozing off. I'm not gonna leave. Not actually dozing off, but I am getting tired. I'm not gonna leave you guys high and dry, but I am gonna go back to our format. Let's do 2 questions. Or let's just do 1 question and then a final thought. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. Let's go with Blaze Blue Beats. How you doing? You there? Oh, Denver's driving, I see. Okay, so it doesn't look like Blaze is here. So I'm going to put them back in the... UpTown, how's it going? You there?
Yo, what's up, Jake?
How's it going?
Hey, same old. I was actually at the game, so I just wanted to share some interesting stuff from the stadium.
Awesome, yeah. Have at it.
All right. So, I mean, that hit that Stafford took on the interception, I'm not gonna lie, myself and like a couple of people sitting around me were kind of thinking, because at that point in the game it was going pretty fucking rough. Like it would have been interesting to see Wentz, don't you think? I know they say when shit's not
Yeah.
going well, the most popular guy in the room is the backup quarterback. But in my head, I was definitely genuinely excited. Did something like that pop through your head?
I love Stafford so much. I've defended him through thick and thin. So I would never say I was excited after that hit. I know what you mean though, but there's something about being able to see Wentz play that would be like, this is by far my favorite quarterback room they've had. So, I mean, I wouldn't be against seeing. I would say Wentz makes it like bearable if Stafford were to go down.
I mean, yeah, but it's still just kind of. I'm sure you probably litigated this a lot. I'm sorry I haven't watched the videos too much in the last couple of weeks. I've been very upset the fact that we keep losing. But
no, you're fine.
It feels like such a dereliction of duty that they didn't bring him in from the beginning. Like, it's fucking embarrassing because there's no way in hell that we lose that Packers game with Carson Wentz. There's just no way. And then the refs absolutely butchering us at the end of that Steelers game because, I mean, I am very critical of Stafford, but I feel like I'm only critical of Stafford because I know that he has elite talent, right?
Yeah.
I know for a fact that if we get that ball back at the end of the Steelers game like we should have, listen, Stafford will fuck shit up quarters 1 through 3 and throw a pick he shouldn't all the time. But game-winning drives, he's usually money, man. We would have won that game.
No, absolutely. I think with Stafford, you could definitely argue, the play calling and all that. I think Stafford's also missed some throws, but I mean, I just think the stats are so. I mean, they're not what I'm seeing when I watch the tape. And I think
listen, the stats aren't everything, right?
Well,
But
again,
neither is the eye test. You got to look at both of these things.
Yeah, another goal line run by Henderson. So that's another touchdown that Stafford led, but doesn't get credit for.
Yeah, that's fair. And I don't. Like I said, I haven't watched the highlights yet. I've been listening here, and it took me a little while to drive home.
Mm-hmm.
But that 2-2 drop in the end zone, was that as bad as a drop as it looked like? Because it looked rough from where I was sitting.
I couldn't really
It looked
tell.
like it hit him in the chest.
It might have. I couldn't really tell because it looked like good coverage too. Like the ball might have barely gotten through, but got through and hit a finger or something of the Seahawk DB. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't know for sure. It was just hard to tell from that angle, but yeah, he's got to catch it. If he dropped it and it wasn't like hit at all, he's got to catch that. He has to catch the one in the last drive.
Yeah, I know. That's 100%.
Yeah, but I mean, I was glad they at least took a deep shot with him, and he's so good at getting those calls, the PI calls. He just knows how to do it.
Well, I mean, I think they were PIs. At least it looked like it to me, to be honest. Especially the one that was like kind of pushed in the back.
Oh yeah, but you have to actually force those. You know what I mean? You have to actually make it. It's one thing like if you get interfered and you don't actually give with it, then they're not going to call it. And I think 2-2 does a great job of putting himself in a position where they are going to throw that flag.
Yeah, fair enough. Closing thoughts here. Defense, can't say enough good things about them. They've kept us in games. Stoked on them. Hopefully we can add a couple pieces in the offseason that'll just really take them to the next level. Offense, I don't know why, but I feel like some of our receivers can't necessarily create as much space for themselves as I feel like they were able to at the beginning of the season, whether that's because, Puka's a little dinged up and, Cooper's just getting old. I don't really know, but it feels a little concerning.
Yeah. No, it does feel like there should be more separation, and we're not getting that for whatever reason. But it definitely feels like there should be more separation for the receivers. I agree with that.
And it just kind of, Higbee is like, I don't know what's going on with him. He had that great little play, but that was mostly, Stafford's doing down at the goal line for the second Teddy, I believe. I don't know. He's had a very, very bad season, Higbee, and
He's
I don't know.
struggling.
I think we just paid him, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you
rough.
got that right.
Yeah, that's fucking rough. Well, we'll see, man. All right. Thanks, Jake. Hopefully, I'm going to be at the game in Phoenix next week, too. I'm going to drive over there, so
Oh, awesome.
I'll be listening in. So take it easy, okay?
Sounds good. You too, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, later. All right. Darth, how's it going?
Going good.
Awesome.
How you-
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Can't complain. Rams won. Quick 2 questions for you. First off, I'm gonna ask you what were your thoughts on the game?
Just pain mostly. Like for like the most part of that game, I was like going like was another game. I was going like this is gonna be another game where we could win, but we're not going to win. And then after we get the field goal, and then they get into like field goal range, I was just like going like, oh, they're gonna make this field goal because their kicker's already made 2 50-yard field goals. So it's like here comes another heartbreaking loss that we could have easily won. But I was happy when we missed. But even when he missed, I was like going like, hold on, where's the flag? I'm like, just give it a couple minutes, give it a couple seconds, and then I couldn't stop like celebrating of like just that. Oh, it felt so good to finally win a game.
Yeah, that was must win if there ever was one for the Rams this year.
pretty much, I was like going like, man, if we lost this game, I was like going like, this is pretty much the end of our hope for playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was all contingent on winning today, in my opinion, and they got it done. With that said, my final question here for you: do the Rams make the playoffs?
I think they can, but I'm gonna say no because I just don't really feel confident in this team that they can consistently put something together. Like I don't know if they can form a really big win streak because I have no idea like what in the world has happened to like Sean McVay. Like it just doesn't feel like him. Like I feel like the offense should be much better than what it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, they're averaging 20 points a game, 19 points a game at this point. I expected better, but at the same time, I do kind of feel like, I don't know. I feel like they can. I feel like they're going to pull it off. And I think this offense at some point, especially when Kyron comes back next week, I think we're going to start to see a better offense. I do. I think Kyron is really the key to that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right because I do think that this team is a playoff team. But man, if like I know like we are what we are, but just imagine like we would be having a different conversation about this team if we had won the Bengals game, the Steelers, and the Packers game, and then all of a sudden, not only that we're 7-3, but like we're right in there for even the division.
You're absolutely right.
We would have a completely different conversation, and and those were all winnable.
Yeah,
it's like, which is why I was just not too sure if we were going to win that Seahawks game because it's like it's going to be another one of those games, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm just glad they got it done, man. Because like I said, I have a lot of confidence in this team, but it was all really contingent on them winning this. And just watching the tape, Seattle against the Commanders last week, I was like, the Rams should win this game, and it ended up being closer than I thought, but I had 31-28. But I didn't think that Seattle would outplay them for the majority of the game. It just sometimes it doesn't matter how it happens. You just got to make it happen. And so that's what happened. So, but any final thoughts for you?
I just think that we need to be more of a balanced offense, and we need to, when Cup is even in the lineup, like we need to be able to spread the ball around. Like I'm fine with like Cup getting his fair share and stuff, but like we need to be able to get our other players in, because I feel like if you want to be able to win consistently in this league, you got to be able to spread it around more and be more unpredictable and make it difficult for the defense. Because I just feel like this Rams team is way too easy to game plan against on a defensive side.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there. But hey, Darth.
Actually, I have something interesting actually.
Mhm.
So, not in about a couple of weeks actually. I'll be at the Rams and Ravens game.
Oh, nice. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I am prepared for a potential beatdown. I am prepared.
I guess we'll see.
I'm
No
scared.
Mark Andrews in that game. That could. I mean, that's the OBJ. I don't know revenge, but
I mean, there's Lamar Jackson who might just run all day and all night against us.
That's true.
There's Lamar Jackson, and if we have seen anything, we've had trouble stopping mobile quarterbacks this year than what we've done in the past.
Yeah, not going to be easy.
No, and we got Kyler Murray, so
yeah. Well, it's good that they have Carson Wentz, because he's going to run the scout team, and he got the Rams prepared for Geno this week. He'll get him prepared for Kyler next week, and I think that's the underrated element of having a mobile quarterback like Wentz in your practice.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, appreciate you, man.
Yep.
All right. Talk soon.
All right. See ya.
All right. Later. Look out, MoonPie. Welcome. You there?
Hello?
How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Jake?
Good. Tired, but good. So I'm gonna ask you two questions here. What are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, I'm thankful we got the win, but it didn't seem like a whole lot that you can really hang your hat on. I think Geno going out for as long as he did was kind of a big reason that we won. Drew Lock didn't look great, and that really helped us stay in it. I feel like that could have gotten out of hand if Geno had been in the entire game.
Perhaps. So my second question for you, in regards to the Rams, do you think this team makes the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I don't really know. I think with Kyron coming back, that probably gives us the best chance of making the playoffs. Having a consistent run game is something we haven't seen in a while, but I don't know. Sean McVay has been a little baffling recently with the play calling at times.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's sometimes you're like, what is he doing? Like that one like
right down at the goal line with like a minute 40 left to go or something like that.
Not even that. I mean, the flea flicker was so bizarre. I don't even know. I
get you're
that
trying
out.
to be creative.
I was
but
just like, I don't even know what to say to this.
There's a time when you're trying to do a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, that's just getting too cute at that point. And I mean, you say yourself, I mean, Gino's out of the game at that point. You don't need to get cute. you're in control. You're not winning, but now you're in control. So go out there, put together a nice drive, keep your defense off the field, and make them earn it. And it's like just giving it right back to them like that was just ridiculous. Anyway, so MoonPie, what are your final thoughts? Anything you want to shout out or anything before you sign off?
I mean, not too much. Just great to be on. I've been watching the show here for since the Super Bowl season, so
I appreciate
great to finally
that.
get into the
That's awesome.
into the chat.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And this is, I believe, your first one, right?
Yeah, I actually just joined the server like an hour ago.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll have to have you back on next week. Hopefully after Rams, they win their second straight game.
Sounds good, dude. You have a good night.
You too. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Let's see. Got two more. Then I'm calling it a night, potentially. Well, with JE Live, I am. I might go live on Kick and, again and play some Call of Duty. Depends. We'll see. Blaze, are you back? You there? I figured I'd try you again. Looks like Blaze might be away from the phone, the computer, or fell asleep. Okay. Sel, what's up? Or John, whatever one you want me to call you.
Oh, hey. John works.
How's it going, John?
I'm doing amazing.
Awesome. Well, happy to have you here. I know you're new here because I haven't seen you before, at least in
I'm
this
definitely new.
Chat. So let me ask you this, the two questions. First off, what were your thoughts on this game?
Well, going into the game, I was a little scared because I'm in a division, so it's a little scary. But I had high hopes, especially after watching your video about if we beat them, it could look good for playoffs. And I thought you were crazy, but during the game, I had moments where I was like doubting just like everything, like the flea flicker play. That was just scary, But the win itself, it felt amazing. I know it felt great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was such must need, and I got a lot of flack for that video.
Yeah, I was one of those people that kind of thought you were crazy. I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah, well, sometimes the NFL works its magic. Now, keep in mind, also works the other way as well. So they still have to, take care of business against Arizona, but. We will we will see. Okay, so second question. Do you think now, following this win at 4-6, do you think the Rams make the playoffs?
Make the playoffs? I think there's a chance. I think there's actually looking at it, not a bad chance. I think especially with Kyren Williams coming back, I know we've definitely missed him on the Rams. I love Darrell Henderson personally. I love Darrell Henderson, but Kyren Williams is just that step ahead. And I just think that Kyren Williams is that guy for us. So him coming back will definitely help a lot. And if we can stay healthy and if Matt Stafford starts to feel better, because that hit today did not look pretty. I think if he looks better, I think we can definitely win a lot more games. I'll be at the Rams-Ravens game as well, and that's going to be a pretty tough game. I don't know if we'll win that one, but it's going to look pretty scary. I think we can still win a lot of games, and especially if, the end of the season, we go against the 49ers. Even though they're, really good, I think there's still a chance that we can beat them. And if we do, that means we win like 5 of our 6 divisional games, and that's like insane. So I think there's a decent chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts? Because you're the last guest. I'm gonna hang it up after.
Okay. No really final thoughts. All I know is, or all I gotta say is, I don't know if I want to go to the playoffs necessarily. I feel like I'm not one of those guys that's like, I really just want a good draft pick. But like, is it really like if we go to the playoffs, will we just be a first round exit and we gotta work on next season, or like, do we think that it would be a possibility to go far in the playoffs?
I don't really look at it so much as is it a possibility they would go far. I look at it more as you get the experience of a squad that's likely going to be very similar to next season. A lot of the guys are going to be the same. They're going to bring a lot of these guys back. 14 draft picks, bunch of them getting a lot of experience as well. We saw what Ernest Jones went through to play in his first season, go to the Super Bowl and win it, and start and make plays. The fourth down pass, the pass, breakup or whatever to start the game against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. The sack, the blitz up the middle. Those are the memories, but also they become experiences that allow him to grow. Then you bring in Bobby Wagner and you compile different things to make him better.
Yeah.
But I think the Super Bowl season just added more to Ernest Jones, and it's why he's so good. I think it really helped him out. But I look at it like this. Yes, obviously the experience helps, but furthermore, I mean, who's to say if this team gets hot, they can't go on a run in the playoffs? Just get in the dance, It's like, I mean, Matthew Stafford was, electric in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
To win the Super Bowl. He didn't get a chance last year. The Rams didn't get a chance last year. So who's to say, Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, guys that have won the Super Bowl, been there, done that, they get in the dance and they take advantage of teams like the Vikings playing, Josh Dobbs, who's never started he's never started a playoff game before. Going up against Jared Goff, who Sean McVay knows like the back of his hand and has a lot of experience against, and Raheem Morris does. Who's to say they don't like have a game plan for these guys and they become a problem? And I think that's the thing. You only know if they make it. And so I would just say, if they're able to make it, anything's possible for sure.
Exactly. I watched your video, and one thing you didn't mention was the Jaguars season last year. I think they were 3-7, and they ended up making the playoffs and winning a game in the playoffs. So that's like one thing I thought of the Rams as this season is definitely can make a play.
Exactly. You nailed it. So I started off the show, or at least in the first like 45 minutes, that's starting off.
Yeah.
But I started off the show. I actually admitted that because I didn't realize. I went back and I looked and I was like, yeah, I keep saying that only Washington, but no, the Jaguars did last year, and the Rams are in better shape than the Jaguars were last year. So yeah, but appreciate you, John.
Thank you, man.
This has been fun over almost 3.5 hours. This is what happens when the Rams. Sometimes this is what happens even when the Rams lose. But 3.5 hours is normally a good time to head off. After a win. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's almost 11 p.m. here on the East Coast. But yeah, appreciate you and
appreciate you, man. You're the best.
Hey, I appreciate it. Oh, we'll have to talk next week.
Yep. Thank you. See ya.
All right. Take care. All right, guys. So that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I can't believe we maintained over 100 people in this live stream. Our peak was over 500, which is crazy, but it goes to show you what happens after a win. Means a lot. I see a lot of you guys in the chat. I'd answer all of you if I could. There's just so much going on. I'm overstimulated in everything. And then, obviously just sitting in a spot for 3.5 hours makes you somewhat exhausted. Plus my voice. So appreciate you guys. I'll have plenty of content throughout the week. That kind of goes without saying. Podcasts, Believe in Rams, Downtown Rams, of course. Off the Edge. I'll be on Bleacher Report tomorrow for the Rams show. We didn't do it today. I don't think we're going to be doing it on Sundays. I think last week was the last week. So we'll be doing a Bleacher Report live stream tomorrow around, I think it's 11:30 a.m. I'll post links in on Twitter, on YouTube, and in the Discord. But it's been fun, everyone. Appreciate you guys. In case you live under a rock, the Rams fall. Well, they don't fall. Sorry, I was used to that. The Rams drop the Seattle Seahawks 17-16, and they move to 4-6, and they are 2 wins in a row and 2 Seattle Seahawks losses in a row from taking over, the spot that Seattle currently resides in the playoffs. So that is that. As far as the Vikings Broncos game right now, which would help the Rams out if the Vikings lost, looks like the Vikings are doing pretty well. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Broncos can fend them off, but that's gonna do it. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks.